by SV.com. Beats by SV.com. Beats by SV.com. Beats by SV.com.
Will be my special guest here today. Will be joining me from the nation's capital. Monrovia will be joining me here today, right here on this program. Stay tuned for a very short clip with Lincoln with Minister Nyenpen.
Beats by SV.com.
Members of the Joint Committee of the Legislature, officials of government here present, fellow citizens, members of the Fourth Estate, ladies and gentlemen. I have come to appear before you today in response to your invitation to participate in this public hearing relative to the financing agreement which was submitted to the legislature for ratification by His Excellency President George Weah a little over a fortnight ago. The financing agreement referenced seeks to enable the government of Liberia to borrow an amount of $536,400,000 for the purpose of constructing 505.3 kilometers of roads with asphalt pavements in various parts of the country over a 4-year period. As Minister of Public Works, I'd like to confirm and affirm that I am a signatory to this agreement and wish to lay before you, honorable legislators, the reasons why I believe that the purpose for this loan, that is, the construction of over 500 kilometers of paved roads, is
Are you hearing me? Okay, all right. I just want to make sure the audio is in good. Okay, well, folks, we want to welcome you here this evening. This is a special program here in a bit to understand and know what is going on in Liberia. It's been quite public. Today I have the pleasure and honor here. I have to introduce people because sometimes I get you into trouble. But this is a person that's really strange to me, but it's a tradition on this network here to we always like to hear directly from the house's mouth. It is what we believe in and what we're doing. You hear without much time I want to go to the nation capital of Monrovia this evening, saying that the Highway Commission and the men responsible to make sure that the total agenda is put on the higher level is the Honorable Minister of Public Works, Republic of Liberia. Minister Mobutu Vlah Nyenpen is currently on the line from the nation's capital of Monrovia. Honorable Minister, good evening. All right. Okay, first of all, I want to say thank you. Most often, we invite government officials, and sometimes in the time minute, we know time is also is constrained in Liberia, making sure that things are done. But we say thank you for keeping your commitment. That's part of being a leader. But I would be doing you an injustice since this post went out, it went viral, and people wanted to know. I wish it was just left with me that I know exactly the in who is Mobutu Vlah Nyenpen. And as a matter of fact, let me be very gracious here. He's one of my mentors, but we have agreed that this evening we're going to have a very honest and frantic discussion here. But for the benefit of my listening audience, could you, Honorable Minister, just briefly introduce yourself, if you will? Okay, all right. Thank you so much. Let me see. I'm getting the message here. Let me just make sure that everything is okay. For folks, those of you that are following online here already, if you are hearing our guest as well, just make sure and give her a message here or send me a thumbs up so I will know exactly what is going. Okay, we are hearing the minister clear. All right, thank you very much, Benedict, wherever you are. Thank you for following us. Okay, well, there you have it, the introduction here. But let us just do a little bit of housekeeping. We get a lot to do here. Um, the name Mambutu for me is not a strange name here, starting as far back as 83 here. And that's something here, perhaps this is not meant to bring any sort of embarrassment, but I can remember I was asked to do a speech, and you happens to be one of my mentors. You asked me what I really wanted to write about, and I said education. You told me to start. I was wondering. I needed help from this guy here, who I know, who was an activist. Involved in the politics of the University of Liberia. So I was kind of like stranded. I needed help, and this guy asking me here. But I've got to realize now that was a sort of preparation that you were making me to empower me, not just only to when you are there and ever. This is something I really want to acknowledge. And here we are today here. Let me just ask you this question. Do you ever had a thought that Alfonso So, your own Alfonso So will sit having this sort of dialogue on the international platform? Was that something that you thought would have happened?
Honestly, Alfonso, you a lot of transformation has happened in your own life. You have progressed very rapidly, and I'm proud that you have made so much progress. And that is why when you requested for this interview, I thought that it would be a moment for us to reflect on our good old days, and at the same time, in our different respective portfolios, have an opportunity to discuss our country and provide an opportunity for all of our people, especially those of you in the diaspora, to have an understanding of what is happening back home, and also to make your own suggestions and their own inputs as to how we can lift Mama Liberia to nobler heights. And so for me, one did not think at the time when we were together that you'd be so far, far away, and I will also be so far, far away, but through technology we will be holding this kind of interview. Again, I'm glad that we are doing it, and so let's do it for the benefit of our people.
Okay, great. All right, that's the voice of Honorable Mobutu Vlah Nyenpen, is the current Minister of Public Works, Republic of Liberia, is currently joining me this evening from the nation's capital of Monrovia. That's part of a constraint happened here because I was just talking with our correspondent, and we also hear that he in fact enrolled from Grand Cape County. So it seems to be this road conditions is a very serious business that the President of the Republic of Liberia has entrusted into your hands here. You formerly served as a senior senator of Sano County, as you alluded, for 9 consecutive years. Now you are transitioned into a different portfolio, ministerial portfolio. What is the difference in that, first of all?
Firstly, as senator, I serve in the legislative branch of our government, a branch that is basically responsible for lawmaking, keeping oversight over the various functionaries of government, and at the same time representing your constituency. The position which I occupy right now, I am in the executive branch of government, not a separate and distinct branch of our government. And in this current portfolio, we are responsible to execute and implement, unlike the legislature where we're just making laws and the enforcement and execution of those laws and policies were left with the executive. So if you ask me in terms of what would be a major difference between the two, at least in this portfolio, we have an opportunity to go out directly and implement. So it's not about just making policy, but it's also about implementing those policies and making sure that we can deliver the goods for our people. And I think this is more engaging because on a daily basis, one has to deliver, especially in the midst of high expectations.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. That's the voice of Minister Nyenpen from the nation's capital of Monrovia here. Quickly here, I hate to do backtracking, but to also keep history into perspective and understanding why. Understanding you when you are at the House, Senate, you serve as the chairman a standing committee on public works. Is that correct, Mr. Honorable Minister?
Oh yes, for 6 years at the Liberian Senate, I served as chair of the Senate Committee on Public Works, and for 3 to 4 years, I served as representative of the Liberian Senate to the ECOWAS Parliament in Abuja. So yes, you are correct.
Okay. So let's do a little bit here. What was left undone as far as you can remember at the time in the process as being a lawmaker implementing the laws here? What were some of the biggest things that you can get on top of your head that you achieve, and perhaps what's incompleted and you hope to see it happening?
Well, what I can certainly say is that I had my opportunity to serve in the Liberian Senate. I believe I served to the best of my ability. We did what we could have done under the circumstances and at the time. And so I wouldn't say that there are things that are left undone that I would like to see being implemented. I hope that my successor and those who are now in the Liberian Senate will continue the work of that noble institution representing the people of Sino. But in my current portfolio, there are so many things to do, and so for the time being, I'd like to concentrate on what I'm doing now, and reminiscing on the past, especially my work in the legislature, is not high on my agenda right now. My agenda is basically filled with trying to deliver on the commitments, on the promises that were made by His Excellency the President, and to work consistent with the mandate of the Ministry of Public Works. You know, Afonso, this government, our President has said on countless occasions that infrastructure development, especially road connectivity, is the priority. In fact, is the first priority of this administration. And so with this kind of commitment, we have enormous responsibilities. You know, the road network of our country, you to some extent, you should be familiar with the road network. It's in a terrible state.
Okay,
So much more.
I had to interrupt. We will be going into some of the details on that here, but let me just ask you here.
Very well.
What was the feelings? Take me into your thought process at the time when the official announcement was made by the President of the Republic of Liberia, topping Honorable Mobutu Vlah Nyenpen as the Minister of Public Works. What was your initial instinct that came to place?
Well, the first thing that came to my mind was that Mr. President has reposed a lot of confidence in me to deliver in this capacity, especially considering the fact that throughout the entire campaign, Mr. President's message to the people of Liberia was that of roads, roads, and roads. And so when I was named by him as Minister of Public Works, I thought that an opportunity had come for me to practicalize what I've learned in school, for me to be able to help Mr. President impacting the lives of the people of this country and then moving our country forward, especially in the area of development that has been lacking for so many years. And so I took the challenge, accepted it, like I said, as an opportunity to serve my people and my country. And this is a challenge that I'm now upholding.
All right, folks, we'll be taking calls. We're going to be having a post discussion here, and the reason this is a decision, even though the minister asked that he will run, but at a later date we're going to do that because we want to get a sense of what is happening at the Ministry of Public Works, Republic of Liberia, and so to fall in the opportunity, first of all, let us know insight, and in subsequent time to come, it will be conducted as a town hall style meeting. But right after that, we're going to have a post discussion on this here. Okay, let us just get to the issue here on ground. Our understanding, the Ministry of Public Works, Ministry of Rural Development and Public Works, and they have been condensed together as the Ministry of Public Works, which you are the Chief Executive Officer there. Is that information, is that true, Honorable Minister?
Well, yes, the information is accurate, and in fact, I was chair of the Senate committee in the legislature when the amalgamation was done. That is the amalgamation of the Ministry of Rural Development and that of the Ministry of Public Works. So yes, that is true. Today we now have the Ministry of Public Works with the Ministry of Agriculture forming an integral part. The Ministry of Rural Development forming an integral part of the Ministry of Public Works. And so we have a Deputy Minister for Rural Development at the Ministry of Public Works, and who is directly responsible for those activities that were being handled by the Ministry of Rural Development. So yes, you are correct.
Okay, you are engineer by profession, at the same time a lawyer here, so this puts you in a very kind of comfortable position in my own interpretation. I don't know whether that's it, but I surmise that is the reason. Now, Honorable Minister, the task on hand, there is no country on planet Earth that can build its economic growth without good connectivities in terms of rural connection. If I get on top of my head, pretty close to 10 to 11,000 kilometers of roads should be connected in Liberia if we are to have a nation that can feed itself here. So let us look at the administrative part here. Public Works, what is the capacity of the Ministry of Public Works? The short term, the long term, go in terms of making sure these roads we are talking about, that even if they are built, they can be conditioned timely, and they can be looked at the regular basis. Is the Ministry of Public Works currently in Liberia? Is it out of Monrovia to other counties now as well, first of all?
Well, thank you, Alfonso. I think this is the crux of the matter which our conversation will revolve around tonight. Firstly, let me give you some statistical information about the road network of Liberia. As we speak, Liberia has a total road network of approximately 11,000 kilometers. That is throughout the length and breadth of our country, and this will include feeder roads, secondary roads, primary roads, as well as urban roads. Now, with a network of 11,000 kilometers, Alfonso, you surprise you to know that only 5% of the roads in our network are paved. And so 95% of the 11,000 kilometers of roads in Liberia are unpaved. Ours is a country of 171 years.
What is responsible for that, Honorable Minister?
Okay.
To have such...
Well, it's just the sheer neglect of this sector over the many, many years. If you have a country as old as ours, 171 years old, and you have a road network of 11,000 kilometers, and you are able to only pave over this period a little over 850 kilometers, this suggests that we've been paving, or we've been able to pave 5 kilometers per year over the 171 years of our history.
Who is responsible for that?
In this profession, well, I would certainly say it's just the sheer neglect of the road sector of our country that year in and year out, Alfonso, it seems to us in this country and to those who've been in leadership that we just accept the fact that we have bad roads. And in most instances, we play lip service to try to improve the situation. Because I do not understand, and I'm sure a lot of people do not understand, why would Liberia, a country of this age, we only have 850 kilometers of roads paved? Liberia is said to be a country rich in natural resources, abundant natural resources. I'll give you a typical example. Look at Nimba County. Yikipa, for example, a community, an area that has produced some of the best grades of iron ore, which was exported to foreign markets. What do the people of Nimba County have to show? The road from Yikipa to Ganta remains unpaved as we speak.
Let me not interrupt you here.
So what I'm saying is that the backwardness, the deficit, the gap in the road sector of our country can only be attributed to the neglect of this sector by past administrations. Simple.
By national, this seems to, the tone I'm hearing now seems to be national government has just failed to carry out its mandate as people or the citizens have elected. And that seems to be the tone that I'm getting from you.
Yes, and so we believe at this juncture that there needs to be a paradigm shift. We cannot continue to do business in the road sector as we did in the past. Paving 5 kilometers of roads per annum.
Okay, let me.
This is so sad. To continue at this pace, it will take Liberia over 2,000 years to pave the roads in our network.
Okay, let me.
That is why Mr. President has said,
yeah, let me.
To be. Yes, go ahead.
Let me take you back here. People that are listening here, and some of them will be saying, but this guy, he was in the Senate before. What did he do? He was chairman on public works at a certain period of time. What were some of the things that he did to press to make sure that government understands these necessities of its citizens? And that did not happen. Was there any time that you can remember pushing this agenda here to the extent that the executive branch of government perhaps would have but common politics of Liberia factor into it, and it still get us to be where we are today?
Well, now if we will now reduce the discussions to what is it that an individual has done when he was serving another branch of government, then I would just respond this way. As a senator at the time, my role, like I said, was to make laws, to represent the people of Sino, and to institute oversight responsibility. Now, in that capacity, we were not in a position to implement per se. But that is not all to it. The political will, the vision of the leadership to be able to define the priorities of government, that solely rests on the executive. And so the next election, yes, budget will be passed, and that's an issue that I wanted to address later on.
Okay,
The
all right.
issue of
Okay,
budget appropriation for the road sector.
all right.
This issue will have to be addressed in a way that we will be realistic with ourselves. Because even the budgetary appropriation for road works in Liberia over the years has not been adequate enough to be able to address the gap in the sector. And so there must be a new way in which we can address the deficits. And the new ways are being developed by this administration.
Okay, then.
We will come to that part subsequently, like you said.
Okay, all right. Then let's go. I just wanted to make sure to give you a fair shot. And somebody who was wondering out there, free thinker like myself. Wait a minute, was there anything put forward here? But you are perfectly articulated. Okay, let us just get to the basis of this discussion here. Talking about roads, my own town in Grand Jida County and other parts of the country as a whole are suffering from this road connectivity here. And I listened to your confirmations. There were a lot of things that you pointed out here, but yeah, some of my few concerns, and I'm quite sure the audience also will be interested. In terms of the plans of the ministry now on your watch, what would they be considering as make this massive preparation? Like you have rightfully alluded, the President of the Republic of Liberia, Dr. Weah, has prioritized in connecting not just only the country but neighboring countries as a whole. Building a road from maybe from Totan to Grand Jida here. There are towns, there are villages, and things. What are the plans that the government have? If the road is to be modernized, people houses, you have graveyard all over the place, and what are some of the plans here? What are some of the things that we should consider? I see it to be a very hectic task here, as the ordinary person who doesn't know the technical work out of it here. What are the plans that on the Bognan that on your watch as minister will be considering, and how long should we see this really coming into fruition?
Yes, Fonso, you are right. The task is hectic. The task is Herculean. But we have a responsibility to execute this task. We, as a ministry, the government, is very, very clear as to what we want to see happen in terms of development in the road sector. We have made a commitment that over the next 5 to 6 years, we want to pave a minimum of 1,000 kilometers of roads in our network. A minimum. To be able to do this, we need resources. We need financial resources to be able to pave 1,000 kilometers of roads in our network. And we have clearly laid out a plan. What are the counties that will be affected? What are the roads that will be affected? The plan has been drawn out. What we are now doing is trying to mobilize resources to be able to execute this plan. Now, I'm sure over the past few months, you've followed carefully the discussions about the government trying to access loans to be able to sponsor, to be able to fund our road development program. And this is true. And if we succeed accessing these loans, Alfonso, what is it that we're going to do with the loans? We've made a clear commitment, and Mr. President has indicated that he wants to see all county capitals in Liberia connected by paved roads. And so right now on the books and on our plans, we intend to pave the road from Ikano in Grand Bassa County to Sestos in Riverside County. From Sestos in Riverside County to Greenville in Sino County. We intend to also pave from Greenville in Sino to Sasstown in Grand Creek County. From Sasstown to Battleville in Grand Creek County. From Battleville to Peebo in Maryland County. Now, this is a plan that we have laid out, and all we are waiting for as we speak is the availability of the requisite resources to execute this plan. And that's not also it. The loans that we seek to access will also enable us to pave the road from Medina in Robertsport, from Medina in Grand Cape County, to Robertsport in the same Grand Cape County. The loans will also afford us the opportunity to pave the roads from Burke in Bomi County to Bopulu City in Bapulu County. In addition to that, as we speak right now, there are ongoing road construction works in some parts of our country. For example, we have resumed the construction works on the road between Ganta and Yikipa. Road works are going on, and when we succeed doing this, we would have paved from Ganta to Sanikwele, something that could have been done many, many years ago, especially when LAMCO was active in that area. As we speak, we are also carrying out serious construction works on the road from Banga to Salaye in Lofa County. And that project will land us finally in Medikoma. But as we speak, we have resources to do the road from Banga to Salaye, from Salaye to Konya in Lofa County. Now, that's the first loan that we're trying to get, the roads that I named to you earlier.
Mm-hmm.
We are also trying to access another loan that will enable us to pave the road from Tapeta to Zwedru, from Zwedru to Greenville. Now, and also on the same road between Tapeta and Zwedru, we intend to pave from Tow Town to the border with the Ivorian border, to the Ivorian border. Now, all of these road works, we have done our feasibility studies, we have done the preliminary designs, and all we are waiting for is to access.
Let me just ask you.
Resources that are made by government. Now, all of the projects in Liberia are not just contingent on loans. Like I indicated to you, there are ongoing projects. For example, the road between Ganta and Tapeta is being funded with arrangements with the World Bank. Then, of course, the road between Ganta to Yikipa and the road from Sanikwele or from Zekipa to the Ivorian border in Nima County. That road is also being worked on with assistance from the African Development Bank. And so there are a number of road projects that are being rolled out so that, at least for the first time in our history, our people can move around this country in a manner that will befit our age, that will befit the kind of development that we need as a people, as a country. Our people in Fonso have suffered for so long. Our people have been subjected to hardships over a long period of time. During the rainy season in this country, the roads are so hazardous.
Your own country, I had to do.
Road in the rural part of our country is like a nightmare. And so we have made a commitment, and President Weah has insisted that there must be a paradigm shift in this direction. That we cannot continue to do business as usual, that we will no longer pay lip service to road connectivity in our country, and that we will hold the bull by the horns and take development to our people. Because we are convinced that the road to development begins with the development of roads. And so this is our commitment at the Ministry of Public Works. Our workforce is fully motivated. Our people are in high spirit. We are prepared to change.
Not to interrupt you. Those are very good. Those are very good outline here. Your ministry, the ministry is prepared. I'm more active here. Let's come to the logistical aspect of this here. Are those logistics on ground now to execute these plans that you are just outlined here?
Well, yes, perhaps I'm sure you're talking about our implementation strategy.
Correct.
What we intend to do and what is being done as we speak, especially for other projects that are ongoing, is that these are projects that will be executed with supervision from the Ministry of Public Works, but these projects will be implemented by private sector companies. So these companies bid for these projects, and we will ensure value money, and those companies that will be awarded these projects will be supervised by the Ministry of Public Works.
Talking about that.
Yes.
Mhm. Talking about that, Liberians that are listening here, the engineers in the diaspora, the qualified engineers on ground, many organizations that quite partnership with national government and other institutions. What is the plan in place here in terms of incorporating these people here, and what sort of benefit do we see if the road from Bikiana, Southstand, and all of those places here for the locals there to be part of the process? What is the ministry doing to make sure that when contracts are awarded to these companies, these private entities, the local people will also be benefited? What are the plans there? Do you have plans in place for that now already?
Well, no, but I'm sure you will know that once we begin to build these roads, there will be a lot of benefits that will go to the private sector. We've always said that the private sector is the engine of growth in any economy. And so we believe that when these projects are being rolled out and private sector is involved in the implementation, certainly our economy will begin to boom and the capacity of these companies will be built. And that is why we are encouraging Liberian contractors to, in instances, form consortiums so that together they can implement these projects in view of the limited capacity that they have. We are also encouraging experienced engineers in the diaspora to do what they can and come back home, or perhaps try to organize something on the ground, an engineering firm on the ground, so that they will also participate in these projects. The development of our country is solely in the hands of the people of this country. Our president has indicated that gone are the days that Liberians used to be spectators in their own economy. We must participate and participate actively. And so at the Ministry of Public Works, we have made it mandatory that Liberian companies will be provided an opportunity to participate in every contract.
Is that mean that they will be given? Are you saying they will be given priorities? Is that an interpretation?
Even if the contract is awarded to firms that are not 100% Liberian owned, those firms are under obligation to provide an opportunity for Liberian construction companies to share in the work that they will do.
All right. Let's go at there's a divided house in terms of other people how to go about to process this whole road construction, road network connecting the country here. These assessments you were talking about, were they completed under the administrations of President Vlah or that of Madam Helen Johnson Sirleaf? And you are verifying it? Is that the case? I just want to get this right, then we'll come to the next question.
And let me say this to you. I'm glad you raised this question. This government has a policy of ensuring that every infrastructural project in this country, which will potentially benefit the people of Liberia, and that project was started by whichever regime it is in a state of not being completed, President Vlah has made a commitment that once that project is in the interest of the people of Liberia, it will be completed by his administration. We do not want to repeat the mistakes of the past, where one administration will come to place and they will abandon those projects that were not completed by previous administration. And so, no matter who started which project, once it is an ongoing project, which will require resources from government to complete, or resources from anywhere, we will make sure that that project is completed. Now, if you want to know the specifics of some of these projects, in terms of when they were started and all of that, then of course I have to begin to catalog all of them to you. But whatever development project that is ongoing, we have made a commitment that that project will be completed. Because if we choose not to complete it, then there remains a deficit.
Okay.
And the
No.
Liberian people for whom it is debt will not benefit from it. And so we should, I believe, put a stop to who started this project, who's ending this project.
Okay. Let me.
Of that.
Yeah. Let me come to other.
Government,
Yeah. Let me.
government is Government is continuity. Look at the National Housing and Savings Bank building. Unfortunately, that building was started by previous administration, the administration of President Doe. Today it remains a white elephant. We believe that this is not the way to development. Whichever project was started for the benefit of the people of Liberia, we see ourselves under obligation to complete that project. Take for instance, the annexes to the Capitol building, a project that
The
was
Chinese.
funded by the Chinese government.
Mm.
That project started under the administration of President Salih. It was completed in this administration. When President Vlah took over, he mandated the Ministry of Public Works to work with the Chinese to accelerate the work on that building. Same with the executive mansion. So much so that I can say to you safely on this.
So are you saying the executive mansion?
By the first quarter.
Are you saying the executive mansion here?
By the
Quickly.
first quarter of
Yeah,
next
Honorable
year,
Minister. Yeah, which of course that I know the annexes to the Capitol building, the number 12 building it has been completed. Are you saying the executive mansion is it in completion unto or current work is still ongoing there?
Work is still ongoing, but I can safely say to you that by the first quarter of next year, the executive mansion will be prepared and ready for occupancy by His Excellency, the President of Liberia.
Okay, let's come to some of our. Yeah, let's come.
Yes, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, okay. Let's come to the road work here that will be coming to it. I'm not an engineer. You are perfectly suited for this here, but there are others here, free thinkers who may be wondering yet. This time of the year, the season, you guys carrying on construction now, or is this some sort of assessment yet to identify? Because some of these roads that we are talking about, it's not just the entire road. There are some within miles, half mile, and certain distances here have this issue. Has the ministry gone ahead to assess, to identify those areas here? There's that some specific work has to be done. Have you concluded that already?
The Ministry of Public Works is staffed with professionals who understand the nature of work with which we are involved. We know that construction has season, so we need not be told about which season you do massive earthworks and all of that. But what we are saying to you is that there are processes that you go through. You do your pre-feasibility studies, you do your feasibility studies, you do your design, you prepare your tender documents, you do your procurement processes, and all of these take time. So yes, we are involved with these processes depending on the nature of each project. Depending on the nature of each project. For example, over the past 3 months, we've been working on the road in the Samuel Doe community, and this is a slum community. Work since its establishment, our people have seen no pay for. The road passing through the Doe community is one of the most dilapidated and most deteriorated roads in the Republic of Liberia. The President, upon his visit to the Doe community, instructed the Ministry of Public Works to transform the situation. About a week ago, Mr. President went to inspect the works. And the works are completed to the level of the base course, short of the application of asphalt. And Mr. President was satisfied with the works that were done in the Doe community. As we speak, feasibility studies are ongoing for the pavement of other community roads in Monrovia. So what I'm saying to you, I'm just giving you a synopsis and the general idea of work that are being planned. In terms of the technical nitty-gritty, yes, We are on top of that,
So,
and the ministry is taking note of that.
yeah, so let me ask this question here. You outline here, and I listened to part of that during your confirmations. You have 7 counties has been earmarked for these talking about roads project. Would these projects be simultaneous or something they're going to be going stage to stage?
So, come again, I didn't understand.
Yeah, I was
You
asking.
told us the project to be what?
Yeah, well, would there be simultaneous? Other than will be done at the same time, or we're going to be the where will we see the first starting point and perhaps the first dedication of a major highway by the President of the Republic of Liberia will be taking place?
Well, the strategy of implementation is such that the coastal corridor, as the northeastern corridor, we will put out the tender documents, and once funds are available and the contractors are hired, the works will go on simultaneously in various parts of the country. For example, the road between Medina and Rawals Post will be going on at the same time while the road between Tottenham Break and Buffalo is being worked on. So yes, while we are working on the road from the Canada to Sestos, we will be working the road from Greenville to Battenville. And that's the kind of strategy that we intend to use. And that's why I just told you, for example, that as we speak, we are working on the road between Banga and Salaye. That is between Bong County and Lofa County.
Is
works
that
are ongoing as we speak.
Okay?
And at the same time, works are ongoing on the road between Ganta and Yikipa.
So then let me just ask this. Yeah, let me ask this.
The nature of work is being done as we speak. The nature of work that has been done because of the rains, the moment is that covers have been put in, drainages have been done, and those works that are possible during the rainy season are the works that are being executed.
So
massive earthworks will be done during the dry season.
So if this is the case here, then, Honorable Minister, then what's first of all these works here, these various places you are talking about, knowing fully well the season, why should the work begin in the first place? If there will be some sort of obstacles.
So sorry, I don't know. So why should work begin?
Yeah, I heard you talking with the current weather. They're going to determine. So I'm a little concerned here that if we know that the season, the timing of considering our weather at this time, then why it should start, or is there a specific timeline? Some of these roads that are currently being worked on, is there a timeline for completion?
Yes, I think so. And when it comes to the schedule of implementation of construction works, there are works that are done during the rainy season, and there are works that are done during the dry season. So
what could be the
during the rainy season?
What could be the example of those work that are supposed to be done rainy season or dry season?
And I'm sure you want to dive into engineering now.
Not exactly. I'm just trying to go out in the policy just to get my audience to.
Okay. That's okay. Well, for example, right now we can be working on covers. We can be doing drainage works. And all of these activities do take time. So you don't have to wait for dry season before you begin to do drainage works. You don't have to wait for dry season before you begin to do cover works. And so these works can be done so that by the time dry season comes, then you begin to do massive earthworks. So yes, all those who I'm sure are in this profession, they understand exactly what I'm talking about.
Okay, and that's exactly it. For some of us that are ignorant and why listening audience, somebody will be wondering that why is it raining? The government of Liberia is carrying on road construction here. But if we don't ask all of these questions here, we will not be doing our audience a fair share here as well. Now, on the statutes, on the statute of Administrative Public Works, there is a lot involved, and the ordinary person that don't know the statute that created this ministry by the government, primarily responsible to plan, survey, construct, draft, design, infrastructure, zoning, all comes into play. All of these here now been executed and been put into play by the Ministry of Public Works on your watch, because some of these things I'm not sure whether they have been effective in the past. It's not time for blame game, but we are trying to prepare for the future in order for us to have tangibles and to avoid people doing things that they don't know, because simply the law there is not telling them what to do. So the zoning aspect and all of that, and when you talk about urban Liberia, that's a serious problem. All these things being addressed by the ministry.
Yes, Alfonso, you are right. The ministry is not only concerned with road construction. The ministry has a lot of other functions. For example, you are just talking about zoning. Zoning is very, very critical, especially when it comes to urban development. That's another important component of the ministry's responsibility. And also, every construction company which operates in Liberia has to be certificated by the Ministry of Public Works, speaking to its technical competence, etc., etc. Also, when it comes to the construction of structures, vertical structures, horizontal structures, to be able to execute the construction of these infrastructure projects, one must first obtain a permit from the Ministry of Public Works. Why do you obtain this permit? You obtain the permit to be able to be assured that first your technical drawings are correct, take into consideration all of the studies, the geotechnical studies, and even just the architectural design and all of that. And so, yeah, the ministry is not just building rules, but we are also setting standards and ensuring compliance to those standards.
I want to welcome my colleague
right now, which is in a very critical state when it comes to zoning. Over the years, our people have ignored zoning regulations, and now trying to correct all of these mistakes. It's a very serious challenge as we speak. But again, this is our mandate, and we are doing our best to execute this mandate.
All right, let me just acknowledge my colleague in LPR, Mr. Journalist working with a local radio station, Christopher Vlah. Thank you very much for joining us from LPR. Gave a beautiful reporting here yesterday. Mr. Minister, there have been a lot of impressive things here. I've been hearing them talking it and doing it. That's another thing here. What is the current budget on your watch as the Minister of Public Works that's been put forward now in order to get, because if we don't have the funding, if we don't have the required budget to execute, to implement, then we're just wasting our time here. So what is the proposed budget, if you were to tell us on top of your head, that we need in order to have these 11,000 kilometers, some of them need rehabilitation, some of them need to be start from scratch. I completely hear that you are put forward, and perhaps government will be considering the allocation.
Working with our international partners, the World Bank, the European Union, the African Development Bank, we have been able to establish that Liberia will need $3.4 billion to be able to address the deficits in the road sector of our country. To be able to address the deficits in the road sector of our country.
Wow. Okay. If this is,
we know that mobilizing these kinds of resources is not something that can be done overnight, and so planning is involved. But we insist as a government that funding to this sector will have to be doubled. I mean, in fact, not doubled. We will have to scale on a higher level funding to this sector, because if we do so, we'll continue to have the same problem we have. Being able to finish 5 kilometers of roads on a yearly basis.
Yeah. Okay. Then let me just do a little.
What what we are doing now as a government, we have identified that this government will be able to mobilize a minimum of $1 billion to be used in the road sector. In this way, we believe we can address
the 11,000 kilometer you're talking about. The $1 billion will approximately.
No, not 11,000 kilometers. No, we've said to you that we hope over the next 5 to 6 years we will be able to pave.
Okay.
1,000 kilometers of roads now. And it's not just about pavement as well. We also have to maintain the existing roads.
Okay, and that's the question.
We have to maintain the natural roads because maintenance is a challenge in our country. So you see, the need to put resources in this sector cannot, be overemphasized.
Yeah. So
all we need to do now.
Yeah, let me just come in here quickly here, and that sounds because that's the next question I was really coming to. Does that mean that before even these projects start, the Ministry of Public Works, because the maintenance aspect in all of our businesses and sectors, way of doing things here is very much key. You can put up something here, but the next thing is the maintenance aspect. So is the Ministry of Public Works also prepared now to deploy people, effective branches in all of the 15 political subdivisions to make sure that these roads are maintained and look at regularly instead of us waiting sometimes when the bridge is already is in the river before we think about looking at it. So all of these factors are these some things that you have already put into place.
Yes, working with our partners, and I've always said working with our partners because in this sector, government budget is just grossly inadequate to be able to address the deficits in the sector. So if we are heavily involved in working with our partners, working with our bilateral friends to be able to address some of the issues we're talking about. So yes, what we have on our plan is to establish what we call regional hubs. We may not be able to establish maintenance centers in each of the 15 political subdivisions, but we divided the country into 5 regions. And so in these rural regions, we will have, we intend to have maintenance crew that will address some of the vexing issues of maintenance across the country. Now, we also have instituted now what we call the road fund levy.
What that means?
Monies have been paid into what we call the road fund. And these resources will be used again for maintenance and to be able to build new roads. Because the country is growing and there are communities in Liberia as we speak that do not have access even to roads. And so the road fund will be used to address and respond to the issues of maintenance and the issue of opening new roads. Blessedly also we have support from the Millennium Challenge Compact to the Millennium Challenge account. They are also helping us with the maintenance of roads in our country.
Okay, I know we don't want to keep you long here. We hope to have some of these discussions from time to time that will give a sense of the diaspora community here as well to understand what is happening here. Talking about road funds, I'm a little bit concerned at my own time, like you were just making the reference from Totan to the border. We see these big trucks and even Ganta all over the places flying, and these trucks put a lot of heavy weight on the road that government now will be facing, taxpayer will be helping to maintain. What is the ministry what sort of plan does the ministry have to address some of these vehicles with excessive weight that will be applied on these roads here because they also should have a fair share. What are the plans in place that the ministry going to address all of these issues after these roads are completed?
Well, we need to institute a toll system once we complete some of the roads you are talking about. One of the things in this country, Alfonso, is that the road users do not pay for using the roads. They cause the roads to depreciate, they cause the roads to deteriorate, but not much is extracted from them in terms of helping with the maintenance of these roads. So what we intend to do that we have on the books is to institute a toll system
so that through that they can contribute to the maintenance and development of our roads. So that is firmly on our books, and we will certainly implement that.
Okay, so how many Liberians, if you will, your partnership with a lot of people, like you say here, what is the anticipation? How many Liberians, companies, engineer firm, hopefully will be involved in this here? Because part of that, you're going to build up the economic strength, put other people on the table as well. So how many Liberians? I will be going through here to see some of the questions that make sense here, and we can bring them out before we one up here. How many Liberian engineer firm hopefully has reached out with the Ministry of Public Works to get involved in the reconstruction habilitations of the feeder roads in Liberia?
We have Liberian firms. I'm not in a position to quantify them and say that we have 100 firms or 200 firms or 300 firms, but we do have a lot of Liberian firms, and we are encouraging the establishment of additional firms because we are talking about injecting $1 billion in the road sector of our country. Now, this is so much, and this will require the involvement of all of our people, especially our professional people. And another issue is the issue of capacity on the part of some of our Liberian companies. So again, that is why we are suggesting that in some cases they will need to form consortiums. In some cases they will need to work together, and be able to bid for some of these projects. This will be good for Liberian firms because most of the works will be subjected to international bidding processes. And Liberians can work along with others, to begin to participate actively in this sector. So like we said, there is specified room for Liberians to participate in the reconstruction activities we are talking about. But injecting $1 billion in the road sector, in the road development sector, it's a huge investment that we've never seen since the founding of this country. So a lot of work should be going on. Ordinary Liberians will be employed, both skilled and unskilled, as well as the local economies in the various countries will be stimulated. And I believe through that way, the living standard of our people will be improved.
Okay, as we'll be wanting all here, talking about the local economy here. Let me see here if I get it right here. If I just missed the mark here, I know you're a sharpshooter. Just bring me strictly to the point. That's not an issue here. Let me just take you around Grand Judea to Sino with respect to this Putu Mountain. Some of these big companies that are operating in those places here, there's some sort of economic and social compact that have been signed for some of them to take responsibilities here. Do you care to speak to for example, let's say the Putu Mountain, if it's going back there, would they be involved? What will be their share responsibilities as well? Because they will be using some of these roads here. It could be Nima, it could be Lofa, other places. What would be these companies that will be taking our laws, that will be doing some businesses here? What would be their responsibilities? You make a reference to Bonma here. I was surprised. I was shocked when I was passing through Kakata to see Bonma roads to be looking why it is up to this point in time here. So some of these still on pave. Yeah, so I wonder why is the funding being provided to government, and government say, okay, we will take care of it, and you're just leave it with us. Yeah, I don't know what is happening behind the curtain here, but give us a sense of what this ministry under your watch will be doing precisely when it comes to that.
Okay, well, as you know, the Putu Iron Ore is not active anymore. But prior to the company getting active, there was an arrangement, a signed arrangement for Putu Mines to pave the road between Waju and Greenville. So if Putu were to resume work today, commitment is still on the books, and they will be doing the roads, the pavement of the road between Waju and Greenville. Now, the road I was just telling you about, which is the road between Anta and Yekepa, that road, the construction and pavement of that road is being funded
You have $34.39.
Okay. All right, I just lose the minister. I will be going back to him here to get a closing remark here. I'm Afonso Ziensot of the Liberia Public Radio. Here today, we are privileged to have Minister Mobutu Vlah Nyenpen. Is a former senator of Sando County, former Deputy Managing Director for Technical Services at the Liberian Water and Sewer Corporation's Administration at LPRC, is now the overseers of this roads construction project, Minister of Public Work. We'll try to go back here, but let me just give you a sense of some of the things that we need to know when it comes to this road here, how bad the roads are and the need of government as I try to reconnect here. I'm Ian Sort of the Liberia Public Radio. I will be right back here very shortly. We'll be taking some questions here as well. But let me just try to see if we can reconnect with the Minister of Public Works before he can make his final statement here, and I will be coming right back. Stay tuned, don't go away.
We should move that stick some more. Yeah, to cover this hole some more, because it's overlapping there. We can move this stick and this stick. Don't cut the tire, too sharp. Tire finished. Oh, the exhaust? It's sitting on the rock. Let's back up more and move those rocks.
Okay, folks, being joined by the minister, we sincerely apologize for that disconnection. Sometimes technologies just get things done that way. So here, okay, Minister Mobutu Vlah Nyenpen, the Minister of Public Works, Republic of Liberia, has joined us here. Somebody asked a very important question here, and Honorable Minister, let me just bring that to you here from our follower. And to be specific, this question is from Mr. Hope. I hope the last name is EGCA. Say, Afonso, could you ask him about the role of the AFL in the road construction? I think that's a very good point because they also have an engineering battalion group. With the armed forces of Liberia, AFL, would they be involved into this process as well, Honorable Minister?
And the answer is an emphatic yes. As we speak, the Armed Forces of Liberia, engineers from the AFL and engineers from the Ministry of Public Works are working on a program through which personnel of the Armed Forces of Liberia, they have a lot of earth-moving equipment that was given to them by the Chinese. And so the AFL has been actively involved in road construction works throughout the country under the supervision of the Ministry of Public Works. So as we speak, we are finalizing an arrangement through which they will again be deployed on some of our major corridors. So yes, the Armed Forces of Liberia is being I don't want to say hired, but they are working along with the Ministry of Public Works through our request to intervene in road construction works, and they are responding favorably.
Okay, well, Mr. Hope, thank you so much. There you have it. The minister has emphatically answered. Yes, the Armed Forces of Liberia is and deeply involved in the rehabilitation, revitalizing, whatever you term it to be, is involved, and I think that's a very good answer here. As we are about to wind up this, I hope from time to time we will squeeze you will squeeze in time that you have done, and other ministers and other officials of government will follow suit here. So quickly here, put it into context before we take leave of you, here, Honorable Minister. I heard today, I heard tomorrow. Our understanding you on your way from Grand Cape Mount on an inspection and all of that. So, but
Yeah.
yeah, the phone call tried to kind of get me this short here. But let me just the propo, which has been the hallmark of the CDC-led government and the coalition here. Put it into context for us here, from your point, with the Ministry of Public Works here. How is the propo here? All of these things that you are explaining, is that the perfect interpretations of the propo? There are people out there, including myself, some of us still trying to figure out why it is and how this propo will be achieved. So how is it being interpreted from the public works world and a person who don't know exactly what they are saying?
No, but the whole aspect of pro is about carrying out programs that will positively impact the lives of the poor people of our country. And so, whether it is an activity that results in a reduction of prices on the market, activities that will help us to pave roads in slum communities, activities that will help us to reduce school fees. Those activities are all geared towards improving the living standard of our people and bringing relief to the poorest of the poor in our communities, are all pro-poor activities. And this government has said repeatedly, time in and time out, that look, our policies, whatever we do, the target is to bring relief to the poor people of our country. And so when we begin to say, look, we are paving roads, why are we paving those roads? Because, Alfonso, the difficult roads in our country are the roads that are in the rural parts of our country. Those are the roads that have never seen pavement. In most instances, those are the roads that have never been maintained over years, sometimes for decades. These are the roads that our people have to travel on. And who are those who travel on these roads? The poor people in our communities. And so when Mr. President says that during my first term, I will ensure that all county capitals are connected by paved roads, that is a commitment to the pro-poor agenda for prosperity and development. And so, yes, these activities are all activities in support of our pro-poor drive.
All right. What, folks, we don't time has caught up with us here this evening here. What could be your final word, or probably something specific you wish Honorable Minister perhaps were brought out, but I just didn't have who knows, they know her dealing with Minister Mobutu Nyenpen. We did not talk on that. What you wish were brought out and we didn't discuss it, and that is important to also let the audience and our listening public to know you want to talk about.
Well, basically what we'd like to say first, we'd like to thank you for the opportunity. We also like to suggest or recommend that in the future, the next time we have an opportunity that we will deal with specifics in the sector. For example, we can find time to talk about ongoing road works. We can find time to talk about zoning activities. We can also find time to talk about what the plans are, what are the roads that we intend to construct, what are the roads that we intend to pave specifically, then we can go into the details of some of these roads. My final word to those who are listening to us tonight, especially our friends in the diaspora, is that we need to build our capacity as Liberians. And for those who are experienced and out there, and who are thinking whether or not to come back home, I'd like to encourage them that if you can contribute in any way to the road sector of our country, whether by organizing a company or by coming home as an engineer to work for a company, now is the time to do so. Because Liberia is firmly set
on an irreversible course in the direction of developing the roads of our country. And we need all hands on deck. We need all hands on deck. The Ministry of Public Works is open. I'm sure you can contact us through the social media or directly, whichever way you have access to. And let's talk about the infrastructure development of our country. I mean, we do not expect non-Liberians to come home, to come to Liberia and build our country. This is our patriotic duty. And this government is prepared to embrace all well-meaning Liberians who come home, who are willing to come home and participate in this sector. And as Minister of Public Works, I'd like to assure you that when you come home, you will find in us a reliable friend, a reliable partner in this sector.
All right.
So again, Mr. Zion, Mr. So, thank you ever so much for this opportunity. And we hope that we can find time again in the not too distant future.
Absolutely.
Some of the issues that we'll talk about generally tonight.
All right. Thank you so much. That's the voice of Honorable Mobutu Vlah Nyenpen. He's the Minister of Public Works, Republic of Liberia. Honorable Minister, we are planted on ground, and very shortly our cameras will be rolling at the Ministry of Public Works, and perhaps maybe go on a sightseeing on some of these trips. What an impressive discussion here. Pretty close to 10,000 people have already been reached watching this live video on the social media. We're going to be having a post discussion here with the minister, and like we said, we hope some of the other government officials that are listening to in Liberia will call or the opportunity. I see a call here coming from Canada already here. Will call us the opportunity to get their own side of the story from the ministries or agencies of government here. This is not something here, but we want to have a frantic discussion with our own government. Talk to our own government. Honorable Minister, thank you so much for taking up this time and keeping your promise here by appearing on the Liberia Public Radio. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And I've just reached home in Monrovia.
Okay, wow. Okay, from Grand Cape County. Well, the proper agenda had to go on, so everybody keep busy. All right, thank you. I have a caller here on from Canada. Caller, are you there? What's your name? What's your reaction from the minister interaction?
Yeah, hello, this is Felix B. calling from Canada.
Okay.
Yeah, my background is not in civil engineering. I'm a electrical engineer. But the question you asked the minister, I was very intrigued that he didn't give more details. But the question was, I expected to push him to call one Liberian firm that they are giving jobs so that is involved with respect to the road project, because all he kept saying was giving policies, speculating stuff around the place. What I sense is that I think this is my second time calling a show. The last time there was one of the deputy minister that came on again, and I asked the same question, and he couldn't answer that question. It's a sense to me that the government of Liberia is not going with respect to the pro agenda. It's like they are outsourcing jobs to foreign firms. That is my concern here. You see, so I expect to push him. If I were into construction, I would have
Hello?
Yeah. Okay.
Hello?
Wait.
Yeah.
I think the minister. Yeah. I think the minister is still here. So that.
Hello, I'm still on the line.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, how are you?
Well, I'm good, and I think this is so unfair to assume that we are doing the other one because you didn't hear the other part. I think that's so unfair. Perhaps you could just
hold on now. Hold on.
That we need to be more specific. Yeah, I'm talking now. You could just start saying. You could just start, instead of making insinuations that we are outsourcing to foreign people, you could just start by saying that you would have hoped that I'll call names. I'm saying that there are dozens of firms, and I can begin to name them to you, those who are now involved in active work. The question was, what are the firms? I can name to you all the Liberian firms. But to
the honorable minister, can you call one Liberian firm that gives Liberian jobs?
I'm going to call 5 to you. 5, not just one.
Yeah.
We give job to MDMC, which is owned by one Ubote from Grand Julia County.
Hold on now. That's what I don't like. You also doing let us just something.
How many Liberians are being employed? How many Liberians are being employed?
Hello. Look. Hold on 1 second. Hold on.
I don't know what kind of question you asked.
Honorable Minister, hold on.
My firm and how many Liberian employees they have? What you expect me to do, Minister of Public Works?
No, caller, hold on. Honorable Minister, hold on 1 second. I come here. Excuse me.
I'm to you. I just name one.
and you are asking me how many Liberians that firm has employed.
Okay.
What kind of question is that?
It's not a general question, Honorable?
No. Listen, hold on. I come in. Mr. Minister? Mr. Minister?
Yeah.
Hold on. Honorable Minister? Yeah, hold on.
Hello? Can I go ahead?
Yeah. Yeah, Honorable.
It's to find out whether or not Liberian firms are involved in the construction industry of our country. Now, if this is the intent, then my answer to you is yes, Liberian firms, to the extent of the capacity, are involved. What are the Liberian firms? I'm beginning to need. I just need one. Then the next question is, how many Liberians are in employed on that firm?
Let me, and that's what I wanted to respond to.
Firm, then you talk to the CEO of the Liberian firms, or you talk to the first Liberian firms. You expect the Minister of Public Works of the Republic of Liberia to know all the Liberian employees in every engineering firm in the Republic of Liberia?
And that's not a fair question, and that's what listen, and that's what hold on.
That's not what I'm driving at.
No, hold on, and that's hold on.
Let us not run away with anything. What are you driving at?
I'm not saying with anything. I'm not trying to get at anything personal. If my concern here, because this is my second time. What's that?
It doesn't matter what is your fourth time. Okay? Let's talk the substantive. You want to know whether or not Liberian companies are involved. And I said, yes, Liberian companies are involved. You want to know the names, and I've named them to you. So what is the next issue?
No, it's what I'm saying is that I live in a foreign country, and I understand how you give jobs to people. God, most of the time, this is the second time when the minister came again and said, we prioritize Liberians firms. But again, people complain that no, Liberians are not given priority. They give jobs to foreign firms. That's what I'm saying here. You give jobs to foreign firms, more than Liberian firms. That's the point I'm driving at, Mobutu. I know you very well, Honorable.
Can you make a... No, don't run away with these issues. How can you...
No, I'm not running away. I'm not...
Okay, please, then let's do this. You're also asking the name of Liberian firms, and I challenge you. Name the foreign firm that we're giving work to, and we're not giving work to Liberian firms. And
they are foreign firms not being involved in the president.
Okay, all right. No, okay, hold on one second, Mr. Minister. Hold on, Mr. Minister. Hold on. Caller, are you listening?
Yeah.
All right. I'm in my office here. This is my own office. I invited the minister, and that's some of the things here. Sometimes some of the questions here that they kind of sound varied. Let me see here. I'm doing something here wrong here. It's not. I don't think it's fair. I think.
And that's why I insisted earlier. I don't have a problem with people who want to come on air. If you are coming. Now, he's making generalizations without being specific.
My question was very specific here.
No. Listen, it wasn't specific. You started off by asking a beautiful question, even though the assumption was made. But then the minister is coming. So is it possible if I say the foreign company that you have here, you know their number of employees? It is within the purview of these people to hire. So let us just ask some, fair question here.
Even you say you're an electrical engineer. You say you're an electrical engineer.
Can you please lower your background? Somebody that is listening to, can you please lower your background? We're getting an interference.
Of the Minister of Public Works of a country to know the number of employees that every private firm in the country has?
Okay.
I'm just concerned about the purple agenda because most of the time, when the president is talking, most of those who input, those who give input are also foreign firms heard.
Hello.
Why the president yesterday talking again?
Hello.
Yeah.
When you want to raise issues, be specific.
I'm very specific here. I'm asking you how many Liberian firms are they give job to?
Look,
how many Liberian firms are you giving the job to? You've got the issue is pro agenda.
Look, all right. I don't have. You know what? I don't have time for that. No, hold on, Mr. Minister.
I don't know.
No, he's off. Hold on 1 second. Mr. Minister.
Contracts are awarded on the basis of tender.
Mr. Minister.
And people bid for the contract. That's how they are awarded.
Mr. Minister.
And I can say to you that yes, Liberian firms have won contracts.
Hello?
At the Ministry of Public Works.
Hello, Mr. Minister?
And you're asking me, I will name the firm for you. So you're asking for the number of employees.
Mr. Minister?
What kind of business out?
Hello?
So if you are out of questions, then just leave the line so that somebody else will come to the platform.
Okay, yeah. Honorable Minister, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, I'll turn it off because for me, I really don't have time for that. Some of these questions, all sat down question, it just doesn't make sense. And we are here. Yeah, I'm sorry, not to interrupt you. We are here to inform, to educate here, and so. But that question there, it just doesn't, it doesn't buy into on planet Earth. But let me just bring in somebody. Let me bring it.
I mean, like Brian's working with you and all of that.
Yeah, it doesn't hold no deeper water. But I have on the line here one of the diaspora organizations leader that is making significant impact, and that would be and that's one of the reasons I decided also to have this here. That I decided to give you a courtesy calling out of the country, but this other question here just doesn't hold a deeper water. But I have Mr. C. Cesar Dennis, who is the executive director of the Liberian Reformation Network, one of the diaspora organization that is making a significant impact here. Mr. Dennis, are you there?
Yes, I'm here, Mr. So. How you doing today?
Okay, we don't normally prioritize people, and that's what makes us like broad public radio. But you listen to the Minister of Public Works, and I believe you listened to the last caller here question here. Bring us to the point here. Do you think that question was it a fair question? To ask here to even to start asking me what are LPR employing people and what is who are the people? I don't get it.
Well, let me first of all apologize to the Honorable Minister and to you on your show for that question. I don't think it was fair to the Minister, more especially of an entire country, asking him to be able to solicify everybody that is employed with a particular company. So
you must have a computer second hold I cannot bring when you have 11.
Yeah. Yeah, I apologize for that. I have two questions that I really want to ask the minister if time permits.
Okay, yeah, go ahead. I think the minister will. I mean, he suggested that, but this is the same thing I was trying to avoid because I want to get some specific and know exactly what government is doing, and not people to come bring politics into it. Whether you're from CDC, WCD. For me, I'm a non-partisan guy. If I want a job, I will go on there. People know that. Yeah, okay, but go ahead quickly. And that will just. I know the minister will be here for a long.
Minister, how you doing today?
Yes, I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing okay. My name is Charles Cesar Dennis III, and like Alfonso said, the executive director for the Liberian Reformation Network. The Liberian Reformation Network is a 501c3 organization based in the United States of America, and we also have a branch in Liberia. I'm not an engineer. I am so much involved in reconciliation and rehabilitation. And with your with the ministry that you occupy or the ministry that you run, I personally believe that a greater impact for reconciliation and rehabilitation can come from your ministry. So my question here is, what is your ministry doing when it comes to rehabilitation and job empowerment to our brothers and sisters that we now refer to as Zocos? What are we doing in Liberia to incorporate them, motivate them into becoming part of the Ministry of Public Works to be able to help to rebuild our country?
Well, thank you, Mr. Dennis. And I'm sure we all agree that those that are referred to as Zogos are just unfortunately young people, and all of us have a responsibility to ensure that they get rehabilitated and become productive citizens. The process of rehabilitation, the process of incorporating them into the works of the ministry, it's not just a one-shot deal.
True.
First, I know that there are efforts in country, not necessarily by the Ministry of Public Works, but by other institutions. So first try to rehabilitate these young people and then be able to provide for them opportunities to acquire some skills. And by acquiring those skills, once they have some formal or informal training, they can now begin to contribute to the overall development of the country, either by working for the Ministry of Public Works on some of our construction projects and all of that. But directly taking them from the streets and providing this kind of opportunity for them, I'm sure, given your own experience, you know that's not the way to go. But there are efforts that I know by some institutions to firstly provide rehabilitation for them. This is the first step. And the rehabilitation is not necessarily just putting them to work. But first, changing their mindset and all of that. I mean, it's a whole process, and I'm sure you better understand, you better know it than I do. But at the Ministry of Public Works, we do not have a direct program that impacts Zogos directly. But what we do have is there are projects on which we provide opportunities for them to work. For example, drainage cleaning projects. These are drainage cleaning projects. Sometimes missionary projects and all of that.
Okay.
But again, you don't want to provide opportunities, say, for example, drainage cleaning. When the guy gets to clean drainage, he goes back to where he came from. That's not rehabilitation. Rehabilitation is transforming him, and totally from where he used to be, so that when he comes into society, he becomes a productive person, and he remains a productive person.
True that.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. And thank you so much for your response on that. My last question has to do with collaboration. I'm one of the Liberians out here in the diaspora that is big on requesting Liberians into getting involved in the reconciliation and redevelopment process of our nation. How is it possible, is it possible to have an audience with you and other ministers and of government, as well as representatives, to promote Liberianism, what I refer to as Liberianism, patriotic Liberianism, that Liberians would try to get involved in the redevelopment of our country? How is it possible for you and other ministers to have a program that we can host in Liberia to educate our brothers and sisters the civil duty to Liberia on how to be able to get involved in rebuilding our country? And what assurance can you give me as a leader of a nonprofit organization that is pressurizing or trying to ask Liberians to contribute to the development of Liberia, that when those funds are collected, they will be used for the intended purpose?
Well, the first issue you raised, that is a national call. That is a call that goes out to me. It's a call that goes out to you. Now, all of us, once again, become patriotic citizens of our great country. We are the only ones, I believe, who can rebuild our country.
True.
And I cannot speak for every official of government. What I can say is that the general sense of direction of this administration is the empowerment of Liberians. And so when President Vlah says Liberians should no longer be spectators in the economy of their country, that is a clarion call for the involvement of Liberians in the business of our country. Now, President Vlah has gone beyond just making a call, but he has demonstrated, he has practicalized. For example, we're talking about the Liberianization policy. We had the opportunity to represent Liberia, to go to sign a loan financing agreement. And for the first time in the history of our country, in that loan financing agreement, we included a provision which made it mandatory for Liberian construction firms to participate in the construction works that will be funded by that particular loan.
Awesome.
Never in the history of our country have we had this kind of direct mandate for Liberians to get involved in something, especially in the construction sector. So what we are saying is, it's one thing to be theoretical, it's another thing to be practical. We can all stand and say, oh yes, this is what we want to see happen in our country, this is what must happen, etc., etc. But we have a responsibility, even in your daily lives as people, in our daily lives as people, in our interaction of our fellow Liberians, wherever he is or wherever she is. There's two persons working together, you can demonstrate that sense of patriotism by thinking Liberia and acting Liberia first.
Mm-hmm.
For me, as Minister of Public Works, I mean, the work that we do, the output that you see, I'm sure on the basis of that, you can pass judgment on our works. And that was why I was not too very happy with the first caller, who was just generalizing and just reaching conclusions that how many contracts have we even given here? He doesn't even know. Since I became Minister of Public Works, I've signed on to 2 contracts. The 2 contracts went to 2 Liberian firms. And he's sitting there saying, you give contracts, you outsource jobs. Just wanting to know these things. There's another thing to speak to them and relate them to particular situations that are happening. But thank you for the questions, and this is just my contribution in terms of answer. Yeah?
Okay, thank
All
you
right.
so much.
Okay. Hello, I gotta get my
Thank you,
guests
Mr.
go. I
Fu,
think
for
we have had a
answering
long time here. So, Honorable Nyenpen, thank you, Mr. Minister. Thank you so much. We will leave our room open. We hope to connect with your Press and Public Affairs Director, like we have done in the case with the office of the Vice President of the Republic of Liberia. Constantly we receive correspondence from Mr. Solomon Tawere, the Director of Communications, and we also have to get that information out. So we will be doing same, and hopefully your Public Affairs Director will also do the same. Then we will discuss some of these issues where we have doubt. We'll call the ministers or other relevant authority at the ministry to provide some explanation to us. Thank you so much for taking off your time. Coming from Cape Mountain driving, then to be on the phone to get to Monrovia here, and you have chose to postpone this, but you promised and you kept your promise in place here. We're looking forward to having you some point in time here again on this network.
All right, Alfonso. Thank you so much, and look forward to having this opportunity again. Yeah.
Okay then. Okay. All right. Thank you. Okay, that's the voice of Mobutu Vlah Nyenpen, former senator of Sano County, Republic of Liberia, former deputy for technical services, Liberia Water and Sewer Corporations, and that was administration at the LPR, that's Liberian Refinery Corporation here. And look, honestly, and that's one of the reasons that we just, because we never wanted people just come here asking questions. It's not like a CDC, this, no. I think we should get to the basis and ask genuine and fair questions, and that's what I wanted to have this. Even though he wanted to do it, but I wanted to have a controlling situation where people would now I told them we're going to be picking phone call, and people need to listen to instructions and listening, and I watch post as we are talking. Hello, caller, are you there?
Yeah, hello.
Yeah, what's your name and where are you calling from?
Yeah, this is Willem Bro calling from France.
Okay, Mr. Bro, I wish I really something that, and because sometimes we open these lines and we'll bring these people here. We also have an obligation here not to protect, but they are government officials. We have to accord them courtesy and not just to have people coming and throwing kisses at them, and that won't give us the opportunity to bring them on here, even though he chose to have done that. But I think it would have gone the way other, and we wouldn't land here. But Mr. Broad, thank you for calling in here for friends. I know you've been listening here. I wish I had a heads up here. Just I give recognition to him from Canada calling out of the country here. But you listen to. You listen to the Honorable Minister of Public Works of the Republic of Liberia. What is your instinct? What is your reaction to this interview and the expose of the minister?
The minister, I really respect him, Honorable Mobutu Nyenpen. He's a brilliant mentor, especially to those of us who are the young people from Liberia. He spoke very well. He's doing extremely well, like what you just said, that restricting people because people now, they are like drunk politically. Every occasion, they don't even know when and how to speak.
Exactly.
Like what the other young man just did, just come on the air asking his public works minister to tell him how many people.
Employee? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, that's totally wrong.
Oh my
He
goodness.
even said that he's schooling in I don't know which kind of engineering or which that, but I question that. Yeah, because responsible people don't behave that way. He's a minister. He telling you that he hired You said he should name one, and he said he would name five.
And you can't even wait. He called it 5. Then he said, how many Liberians they employ for a private entity?
Yeah, you can't even wait, but it's like you just came with your mindset and you want to attack the honorable man. That's why you see those big people don't just appear on people's shows.
Exactly. You know, we're not for us. We're not going to allow that. He suggested, as a matter of fact, not to call you, or he suggested we are talking. You said I want to have it. I said no, because the reason that this network credibility is at stake. I'm not going to have a control or somebody calling from Burkina Faso or Libya and just call and throw anything out there without no specific. Without we have to season our thoughts. I can disagree with the policy of the administration. I can agree with the policy, but let us get to the issues that are bearing, issues that are matters to the people. You said a man should name one. He said I'm going to call 5. He called it 5, and he said how many people they employ. Oh my goodness.
Meaning that your point, you don't really have any relevant point to contribute on the show. Meaning that. So I must commend the minister. He spoke well. The only thing we Liberians, we have to pray to God that these things will be implemented. And I know the minister is from the southeast. He knows the condition, the constraint our people passing through. I know they will work to see the success of this project. It has to be done gradually. And I really love the way you call him, your radio. You really doing extremely well. I love the way you conducting your program. It's very, very mature. If many of those programs are coming live on Facebook would be like yours, I think we Liberian people in the diaspora, when they are watching, do you know we have some of our foreign friends that are watching this program along with us?
Exactly.
Based on our people input to issue, that how they create our mentality.
Too much assumption. This business is not assumption. You have to, in the business of news, you have to come with facts. You have to come with something tangible that you can. We are here to inform, entertain, and educate. So we can't just throw anything out there. Yeah, but okay, quickly before I pick up other calls here, what do you think the minister will have touched on that he didn't touch on? What sort of recommendations you want to make to the government of Liberia when it comes to this road issue here in Liberia? What do you think you can recommend to the government through the ministry?
One of the issue is the road farm. The road farm, because every petroleum product they buy in Liberia, there's a cent contributed for the road farm. So we want the government to take that road farm very seriously, although we are requesting for loan, asking for loan, and we are acquiring loan, but those the road farm should be taken seriously. And the next budget, let them allocate enough money for road construction and education. Because if you look at our budget, yes, our budget is around 500 going to 600 million. We could try to put enough money for the road, and then it will also help in that process. And we should focus, like he just said, that the road should be going on simultaneously. It will be going on simultaneously, immediately access the loan. It's very good. In order, at least as the road construction is going on from Nima, they're going to Grange there. And then from Grand Basso going to Sesto.
Yeah, because we see that in the Western Wall here, when they are taking on a big project, they don't just say, okay, we're going to start from Rhode Island until you get a no. I think they kind of divide it into zone, and that's going to help to expedite the process of the work. All right.
Thank you.
Okay.
And then with respect to, he was talking about the culvert, and somebody was asking, how can they convert and construct culvert during the rainy season time? If you look at the construction of culvert, that's the best time to construct this culvert, because rainy season time you will know the actual limit where the water usually sits and all these things. The only thing you don't do rainy season time is to lay the quota, because the quota you don't lay quota while rain is falling.
No.
But you can build culvert and drainages while rain is falling, because it will give you the actual area that those drainages and culverts should be laid. So these are things that the ministers that are doing rainy season time, they should continue. And let us focus on our little resources in the budgetary to help in the road construction. Even like he talked about 10,000 plus kilometers, and the government targeting 1,000 kilometers before the first 6 years. Even with our little resources, beefing up with those loans we are taking, we can even go more than that. So that's it.
All right. Thank you so much, and I hope you're doing fine there in France as well. We're hoping to have you here, and that's what we're going to be doing here. That's our focus, to bring our leaders and talk to them, not to get into confrontation, but because you do that, you will not get the information you want. So if anybody looking for people to abuse...
That's total disrespect to our leaders. You don't do that.
Yeah.
Suppose foreigner listening now, then you there arguing with your leader unnecessarily. How many people? Can you see those things happening in a foreign country?
It doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
all right.
Thank you. That.
All right. Thank you, my dear brother.
You.
All right. Okay, Christopher here. I got Christopher Tobasi on the line and another number here, 243-2368. Okay, Christopher, what's your first reaction from this interview?
First of all, Mr. Sue, I want to say thank you very much for conducting this interview tonight. I think you did extremely well. I think LPR did very, very good.
That good. That good can last until tomorrow, my man.
Mr. Sue, let's be frank here.
Okay.
And second of all, I want to say Honorable Minister for coming on. He did a very, very good job to explain to the general public, as to where they are heading, and I think he did a very good job. I hope most other ministers will find time to at least come, because we in the diaspora, we listen to you people.
Right.
And so we want for most of them to come here so they can explain what their office is doing, what they're doing over there for our people.
Right.
And tonight, Mr. Nyenpen did extremely well, and I want to commend him for that. For my brother that called from, I don't know where he called from, he was very disrespectful, he was rude, he was vindictive. This guy should be ashamed of himself. He should be embarrassed.
Okay, let's leave that up here. Okay.
Because, no, Mr. Sue, we got to be tough on some of our brothers who come and misbehave. I don't know what institution he come from. I don't know whether what political party he represents. But this guy behaved very rude. Address a minister like that. These are the people we've been talking about. Y'all start insulting others. Y'all start insulting leaders. Why you come in a public arena to come disrespect Liberian people? They got disrespected all the Liberian people that on the radio show here tonight.
Okay, let's leave it here. Okay, I don't want to waste my time on that here. But Chris, quickly, what would be your recommendation? Perhaps even though it's your party, I just lose everybody here. Folks, please call back here. I call back here. I just lose everybody here because I try to incorporate, get somebody on board here, and that's one of the things here. In as much we find difference or different positions, political. That's not what we do here. We don't just abuse people here. If you're looking for somewhere where they will abuse people, then I don't think that is on this network here. Okay, Christopher, go ahead quickly here. What would be your recommendation? Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, okay. So, quickly, because I find it difficult to merge people here. Quickly, what would be your recommendation? Why you think the minister should have touched on it? He did not touch on it.
I think the minister touched on everything. What I want to say to the Liberian people, we should be patient. Because when it comes to road engineer, building roads is not quick fix. Liberia, like the minister said, for 100 out of 12,000, I don't know, he said we are paying only 500, maybe around Monrovia. Liberia is not Monrovia. We're talking about our people for many, many years in the southeastern region, they've been cut off. Our people over there, they are lack of roads. Our people over there, this is a national security issue we are talking about. So I want to say to the minister, let them take their time to do their job. Let them find the money wherever way they can find it to build our country, to build our roads.
Okay.
To Mr. President, I want to say a few things. The only thing that can make a country great is when a country have good agricultural system, when a country have good roads, when a country have banking system all over in every country. When a country have good schools and hospitals, these are the things that can make a country great.
Okay.
So, Mr. President, please keep your eyes on these things and take your time to do them. Nobody pressuring you and rushing you. We don't want you to do bad job. We don't want the road to be built in a way that after a few days, it will spoil. We want them to do it the right way, Mr. Sue. So
All
I
right.
want to say thank you again, Honorable Sue, for the interview, and thank you to the minister for coming on tonight.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Chris. Okay, folks. I intend not to be crowding people here. Okay, there's a number here. 515 number 515. Are you there? 515. Are you there?
Hello?
Yeah, 515 number. What's your reaction? What's your recommendation? What you make of the minister interview?
Mr. Sue, the first thing I would say is thank you very much. This is very, very, very responsible program you have on today. With the minister, I'm not surprised. It brought joy to me for the minister to come and speak eloquently like that. Because Liberian people believe that the government is a bunch of irresponsible people. For this man to come and speak to the people in the world, not only Liberians, in the kind of mature ways, and I'm very happy.
Okay. Well,
thank you for the program, and maybe next time I wanted him to speak lengthily about the Ayrton loan, because people concerned is Ayrton is not legit, and I wanted him to speak on the.
And there are reasons for which we did not dwell into that. Not for me. For my goal here was to look at the short and long term preparation here of the ministry, and because if you have the money, if you do not have a proper planning in place, it can be apportioned wrongly, and that was the very first thing. When it comes to that, in the future, we hope to talk about that. But what we were looking at how the ministry is safe if the loan comes, whether from the World Bank or whatever institution, how they can effectively manage that. Okay, thank you so much, Thomas.
Finish, please. Hello.
Yeah, quickly go ahead.
Yeah, to finish, please. I want to the gentleman to apologize to the minister if he's still there. The guy is not do us any good because he was asking for one thing, and the minister about to name five, and he made us don't know the rest of the four. So that was not good for us. So I want to apologize to those of us that were listening.
I know.
And I was really expecting the answer from the minister, and the young man make us not to get that.
Yeah.
So next time, I know he will learn from a mistake, and he will not be disrespectful to any official like that anymore.
Okay. All right.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, T. All right. Okay, let me go to this number here. 248 number here, 2360. Good evening, caller. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Musu.
Okay.
I'm calling from Maryland.
Okay.
I just called to commend you, tell you thank you for your job well done. Calling these people to speak to us, to tell us what is going on. I'm very proud of what you are doing. And I just want to say I want you to keep on the good work. Do not let some people will take your attention from what you are doing. You are doing a marvelous job. I just call to encourage you. Keep on the good work. You are doing wonderful and good work for the Liberian people.
Okay. So, Mamus, before you go, do you hear what you expected to hear from the minister, or if not, what you want to recommend?
Yeah. He spoke well. It's just disappointed with the guy that called from Canada. But he make things explicit.
Exactly, and that's one of the reasons some of the officials, when you call them, because he wanted me to open it up, and I said no, because I need information from my people, because I don't want, when I'm talking about something else, somebody talking about how many poultry in Liberia, it doesn't make sense. That's just distracting people. Okay.
Well, I just want to say thanks for everything. Keep all the good work. Keep educating us. Keep informing us. You are doing the radio station doing extremely good job. We have so many radio stations on Facebook, but this one,
You people are doing marvelous job. I just want to encourage you to keep on the good work.
All right, thank you so much. And I think the minister, as a matter of fact, he was genuine driving. He on his way from Cape Mount, and he said, "Okay, I will still be on the phone." And then people want to something. Okay, thank you so much for calling in.
Okay.
630 number 000008. Are you there?
Yeah, thank you so much, Mr. Soul. There is Ato Do.
Okay, Mr.
And
Doe.
again, before I can comment on that, I just want to make a brief advertisement. The Liberian Public Radio will be having a luncheon, a fundraiser. I hope everybody that is on this particular line tonight will also join the Liberian Public Radio. The VBA, where you guys gonna know the VBA. Having said that, thank you, Mr. Soul. Congratulations for your show. We I really enjoyed the show. But again, I will, even though the public works minister,
Are you wait a minute? I don't see what are their relationship with last year. Are you a sedition? Are you a sedition? So you're a minister speaking that way, enjoy it or what?
Mr. So, I have called you
Okay.
to give you a little small promo on the
Okay,
LPR.
all right, that's a good
yeah,
one.
yeah. But yes, the situation, Mr. So, with respect to the back and forth with the guy with the public work minister, I will blame you, even though the public minister said you should go ahead, but I will blame you. By the time that guy started with his stuff, you should have cut it off immediately. That's why the fact that the public work minister can answer his question off air.
Sometimes we like for people to fire in their own legs, and like exactly what he did, and that's what I turned it up because he was basing his facts on assumption. The assumption is not a fact. And that's one of the things. And even when he asked the minister was general. You say, okay, see, he said name one. The minister said, I will name one. By the time the minister called one, he said, how many Liberian employed with that? Is that his responsibility to know the people that is?
Trust me, the place he working, he doesn't. And the place he works, I don't think
he doesn't even know the workforce. No.
And, I know that he's not working to 7-Eleven where they get only 2 employees, one to pack the goods and one to be to the cashier. I know.
All right.
But the situation, the public work minister spoke well. He spoke extremely well. My only concern was about the procurement process. I hope and pray that they put a very, very proper procurement process into place. There were corrupt practices usually go on, and the money that is about to be pumped into that entire project is not small money. And we hope and pray that the procurement process will be really, really tailored to meet the demands of the role, and also to safeguard the public funds, the public interest. So my concern was only the procurement process. I wanted to hear what have been put into place.
All right. We can have a lot of good people here to ask questions, but because of some people, the way they behave, it's like you can. We are trying to have this sort of a relationship with national government, not just on the national government, with people in higher offices. But if we sometimes try to vent our anger or disappointment on our leaders, and we'll call here, they will not come. As a matter of fact, he was not forced. We placed this call over and over, and he even called, but he was driving. I said, it's good that we're going to have the interview. He said, it's good, I'm going to be using my.
Yeah. The other thing again is also, I don't know why people just think that when they're talking about road construction, other things cannot be done during rainy season.
And that's what I asked. That's what I asked that question here. And, people who are not engineers, who doesn't know what works and what doesn't work, we always just draw the conclusion, and that was the reason. And I think he provided a tangible reason.
As I speak to you now, our people then who they have a little rain in the Bethesda area at work. We are having a construction going on with our building. It's raining heavy here in the Bethesda area. I'm on a 4th floor looking through. The guys there are working. And they will be completing work soon. So I don't know as to whether when they saw the rain, why is it that they didn't pack their things, but they continue to work. So that notion that we have that rain season, you can't work, there's no road construction, or you can't do this, man. If you're not putting roof over the house, you understand what I'm saying? It's not a roof you put it over the house and you can't do a little piece of work. When you put a roof over the house and it's raining, you gotta stop. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I just wanted to throw in my 1 or 2. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity, my dear brother.
All right. Okay. I want to welcome my man Christopher Flant from Cyclopia, Nima County. I'm wondering what I able to. Was trying to see what I could connect with him. But Chris, thank you for coming in. The number is there. I'm not sure if you have the capacity to call. You can also call. That's 682-433-8802. And we can also have you here. I really wanted to bring you on, but by the time I get to know you, were already off here. That was a discussion here today. Okay, we are doing. Hold on. Let me just shoot a video here to give a sense to our people some of our roles, conditions in Liberia, for which we are called the Minister of Public Works to talk about it. All right.
Liberians, oh, we are gonna do something. Liberians, oh, we are gonna do something. We are gonna do something. Do something to repair our nation. Do something to repair our country.
And this video is our Liberia Popular Radio.
My people, we are to change our minds and our attitude. Liberia belongs to Liberians. When we don't face it, no one else will face it. Say 1847, our government, they reading our faces. Our countries are looking the same. My people, we have to do something. See no problem, bellies. None of finish, we have to finish it. Instead of reading our faces. See no problem, bellies. None of finish, we have to finish it. Instead of reading our faces. My people, we are to face it. I say we are to face it. I say my people, we are to face it. Those parties are easy. Those parties are easy. But to face it, they very they come. But to face it, they very they come. We are to face it. My people, we are to face it. We don't face it, then who will face it? We have to face it. I appreciate my nation. We have to face it. I'm not sure that I'm one. We have to face it. My people, we are to face it. We have to face it. My people, we are to face it. We have to face it. Our rose are the nation. We have to face it. Our rose are the nation. We have to face it. My people, we are to face it. We have to face it. Mama, you will make it home. Mama, Ellie, you will face it. I know you will face it. Lepe, we will face it. We have to face it. Ele, we will face it. We have to face it. We have to face it. Gradually, we will face it. We have to face it. My people, we have to do something. Do something to repair our country. Do something to repair our nation. My people, ain't getting late. My people, ain't getting late. I said that we have to do something. Gradually, we will make it home. Mama, you lepe, you will make it home. Pele, pele, you will make it home. We know you will make it. I say Liberians, dragon, hello go power. Dragon, hello look power. I say, my people, we will make it home. Lepe, we will make it. Mama, you will make it home. Mama, Ellie will make it home. Mama, you will make it. Mama, Ellie, you will make it home. My people, we are to face it. I say we are to face it. I say my people, we are to face it. We have 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 to face it.
You loving me, I loving you, that's on the go. You celebrate me, I celebrate you, that's on the go. I loving you loving me, I loving you. You feeling me, I feeling you, that's on the go. Say the way in the now, that you I won't see in my room, oh. In the now, I can show you in the now.
Salam alaikum. Yes. You see, I just come from the mosque now. I say, I fancy for saying I speak for you. Yes.
You try.
It is. See that. You don't get small photo for me, Elijah. Yes, please. Now, I'll send the money and never eat anything.
You want eat?
Yes.
And you want eat?
Yes.
You want eat?
Yes. Yeah.
Eat. And you want eat?
Prophet Muhammad. Yeah. This food, you plenty like say the Ramadan day.
You eat the food and finish it. Don't say plenty.
No problem. Hey, Allah. Thank you very much, Mr. David. Thank you.
Chalo, eat. Start talking and eat. You want eat? Eat the food. You just feel that charity home. You are tired with that nonsense. Every time you come, money, you eat the money. The evening you come and pay for food. Eat. And that food you want eat, you will eat the food.
With the food, we like pamboto.
Eat the food, pamboto. Eat the food. Eat this. I tell you what food. Don't tell me say you like pamboto. All your friends full of people. They sell it down, what else are doing other things. But you setting yourself every morning coming out to speed at good speed. Eat! But eat! You even try, you go nowhere, eat! Chalo, eat! Waiting, you want water? You want water? Eat to eat the food, yeah. You need the food for me, water, now water you want? Eat! Everything coming, you want eat, I won't get stomach to eat.
My stomach full.
Eat back! You can't finish, I will feed you with it. I will feed you with it, you will eat it.
No, I don't.
Yeah, Chalo, you will eat it red. You will eat it red today. Okay, Mama, let's go. Pop in there, eat the food, yeah. You want to eat? Water, eat food you will drink. Eat, that food you want to eat.
I want to drink water.
Eat, that eat you want to eat. I guess somebody.
No!
I swear they won't impress you. From the look I'm seeing in your eyes, I wanna undress you. You get that sit do me.
See you here. Hey, what happened? Oh, now where you going?
What happened?
You telling me what happened?
What happened? Yes, so what happened?
I know you, sir. You don't know me?
Where I know you from?
Do you know? You better get my money. Get my money. Come tell me, say, eh?
What kind of embarrassment is this? Why are you embarrassing my girl? What kind of money I get for you?
Brother, I don't embarrass your girlfriend. Tell her to get my money.
What money?
She owe me because you're not working now. She feels she not see farming. Anytime I call, cause again she do it. Cause again she do it. Just she packing me. You better get my money.
What I get your money? I know you, sir.
Babe.
Yeah,
you know this guy?
I know you from nowhere. Oh.
You don't know me?
I don't even know you, sir.
I know you from. What you? You say? She don't leave it behind here.
So what? Leave it behind here? What you mean?
Brother, they can leave it right behind here. Everybody in the community can come to the government. You get me? To come to it. The other time she come, she told her she not pay. That money she come, she say, oh, I come in told her when I come from Tobago, I will pay. You get me? She told her yeah, she not pay. Then I call you, and now she dreaming like that because she working with farmer. Please tell her to pay my sepe people money. Yeah, my sepe people money I want.
You tell me, I mean the people in government toilet.
The other time again, you had lapa issue sepe, hair issue sepe. Single, I got to pay for it. Now you not taking the government toilet. For poo-poo? Sepe poo-poo? Sepe poo-poo? But are you serious? She gave my sepe poo-poo money, she owe me sepe poo-poo. Oh, you know money. You know why? Babe, you have something like a sepe poo-poo. Don't never damn my number. Don't never damn. I can get girl, I can do sepe poo-poo.
Let me, you come in. No. You see, let my boyfriend to run away from me. Let me tell you. Let me tell you.
Let me tell you.
What am I owe you?
Let me tell you. Oh, come to the pay. Get my father a sepe. The father said,
I will pay later and get money now.
They don't know.
Oh, not pay, not get money now. I'll pay you later.
See, no get. See, what you
are my fan boy. You can't stop it. You can't tell me what poo bene.
No problem. Poor man say pay poo money. You are the father I want. You will not come out to the toilet to poo with you. But you know say your poo going to tell you
before I will come again.
You get poo there. Your poo going to tell you. When I run this stomach poo, you know what you happy. When you come to the plane lack, that you know what you do. No pay for poo father. You looking too much.
Yes, I will pay you later.
That run this stomach poo you get. Don't pay for something.
I will pay you later.
No pay now.
You have to stay on that. You have to stay on that side. Yeah, because there's a bad area here. If he passes that stick, it might be good.
price of freedom is costly. The price of freedom is painful. Join LPR TV every Sunday live from the New England Bureau for your informative news magazine with your host Alfonso Zion for issues affecting our country and our communities. The price of freedom is costly. The price of freedom is painful. Join LPR TV every Sunday live from the New
Okay,
England.
folks, there you see that this real-time footage, some of the roads in our country, how terrible they are. It's important that we have genuine discussions and people that are responsible for the construction, revitalizations, or whatever time you want to use it to best suit your desire. We talk to them to get a sense of exactly how they intend to fix it. What you saw there is a real-time issues of our roads in Liberia. Some of them have been rehabilitated, fair to mention that. But it is important that for us here at LPR, when we take our time to bring people here, we want to hold the end of the word. We want to have a concrete discussion. Whether there are different political differences, that's secondary to us. That's not something. So calling some people a stupid question that we will not entertain that. And I'm sorry because of what the fellow from Canada did, that question was irresponsible. It does not hold a dip of water to ask or to behave the way he behaved. Whether he's an opposition, I really don't care. But I think if you ask questions of substance that other people will learn from. And so when you come on our next network here, we will either teach you or force you to do the right thing, because we're not going to have people to have our will. When we bring government officials and we bring people here, we take off time to get information because we want to know things and pass it on to other who wants to know it, to understand. So on the basis of that, we can judge them to what they are doing, or we can make an informed decision. But to call in and just make an unnecessary argument point here, it just doesn't make sense. And we hope people will try to direct their questions in making sense so that people will learn from it. Don't come with assumption, and that's one of the things that we always do from time to time. We always assume that people do things. I think it's just unfair if we can come to this kind of conclusion here. Let us just ask the question. You started off by you allege, and he said no. You said name one. He said I'm going to call 5. And by the time he called 5, and then you're asking him to name or to tell the number of employees within a private entity, I don't know. You don't even know your own company, number of people that work for your own company that you work for. Why will you question somebody who doesn't have, who is not a CEO of a company? That question goes to the HR person or the director that is responsible. We're here to discuss real issues that are of a concern and that really matters to our people. We really want to thank the Minister of Public Works for making that time available. We hope there are other who will. I see reason to do that. The number is still there. In the next few couple of minutes, we will be out of here. The number is there. But just in case, if you follow the interview and you want to give your own input, perhaps there are some things the minister should have touched on, the minister did not touch on, or you want to make a recommendation as to how the Ministry of Public Works, you know, now they have condensed the Ministry of Public Works and that of rural development. So the burden more or less becomes you. You saw the videos of the roads. That's real-time road. They are real-time, real happenings. The roads in Liberia there. And so we are concerned when they're going to fix it, whether it's going to be 1 year, going to 2 months, or whatever time frame put on it. We are concerned considering what we have seen and what we have heard and what people are saying, how these roads will be real-time, because some of these roads will be starting from scratch and what it takes to get these things going. We want to make sure that it's done properly. In as much we are keeping eyes on the government, it does not mean we are enemy of the government. We can have genuine conversations on these things. We can have a genuine talk on these things. We can call officials and ask them sensible questions. We can ask them genuine questions as to how they're going to do it differently. And even if the fundings are to be made available, how these fundings going to be managed. Saying what we have seen some of these videos of our road conditions. Some of the bridges that were built almost 30, 40 years ago, they have never been touched. So it means some of them will be thrown down, the new bridges will be built. So it's a real good conversation that we want to have. We don't want to bring people here and talk Shema brand type of questions, yes or no. And so when we call these people and we are lucky for them to make themselves available, we want to have conversation. We don't want to create because of one person's stupidity. We don't want to have a situation we call ministers and call other officials of government and then to go tell them, oh, those people you go on the net where people there can say stuff or don't ask a question. No. So this network too is also under the responsibility to maintain its integrity. We don't here to abuse. If you want people working abuse, there are plenty of networks around here that you can just go there and you listen to all the manpower calls here. But for us here at LPR, we don't do that. When we call people, we make sure we call people and hold them responsible and treat them as official. But we do ask tough questions. Okay, 609 number 7861. Good evening. What's your name and where are you calling from? Yeah, please lower your background. There's some music or whatever you need to lower.
Yeah, leaving from the scene. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, okay. Thank you for you being the minister on today. And also thank you for accepting your call. And just to add to what he was saying, Mr. So, okay, I was saying Grand, I think 1 or 2 times. I was going to recommend to the minister so they can revisit the ancestral road bridge between Grand and Lima County. I take a step the last time I visited Grand. I think it's the need of that bridge to be really seen because, like, most of the rail on that bridge falling off, and you got a lot of crack on the bridge that you look at very seriously. Because if that bridge is not look at seriously, I think from now, I think it's gonna be a serious problem between Grand and Lima when that bridge goes down. Look at my age. Look at the bridge over there, and I think it needs a really
the bridge older than you. But when you look at the bridge now, you say, "No, my goodness, this bridge here, if it continues like that, it won't be good for our people." You never know when things are going to happen. We don't want bad things to happen because it's a major route there. People are using it 24/7. And myself, believe me, when I went home the last time when I was passing through the bridge, I almost told the driver, let me just walk. At least I get a light weight than try to be, on top of that bridge. It's so scary. It's like, I don't know, because of the war situation, I don't know if you realize that Mark 2 is kind of like getting smaller. I'm not saying it's really reducing, but because of the erosions and other things taking place, it has narrowed it completely. So, so what do you make of the minister's conversation here this evening?
Yeah, Mr. So I think he said everything that I wanted to hear from him, especially when he was discussing on the COVID and the drainage during the rain season. I think that was a good point he made because I was in Guinea and doing the construction of the Gidu Highway. They did that drainage during the rain season. Even here, they don't do school, but most of the road they constructed, they don't do that during the summertime when it comes to these bridges and all those covered stuff. They say they start preparing this thing before they start the real construction. Because I think that was a good point he raised. So those that are concerned that people wasting money during the rain season, I think they understand that they are not just wasting the money, but they are working towards the development of the road. And the process, everything starts together. You cannot start everything at the same time. Before you move something, you have to say every time must start with a step. Right. So to start the road construction, the first step is the drainage and the cover that they are putting into place. I think that was a good point. I need to explain on that. And also, when he said the road will not start just from Ganta straight to Maryland, and that's another good point because I believe it be different companies doing these different route from Ganta to Nigeria. They're different companies. and from rural set to maybe a different. I believe so. So in that capacity, I think there's going to be a competition, you know.
Yeah, and moreover, I think there will be a lot of little job, even though it might be only temporary, but at least it will allow the people to have jobs as well.
Yeah, like 1 or 2 years, there are people who can manage will manage good, and if for that job alone, they can sustain themselves.
All right.
So that's a
So,
good idea.
if you are to make a suggestion to LPR yet, who do you think in government can we call here to also have a conversation?
Oh, really, Mr. Su, I want us to really call Mr. Namgwe, the information minister, would talk to him too.
Why the information minister?
Okay, Mr. Su, a lot of information goes out in Liberia. So some of us, for me, some I work overnight. So my overnight shift, so now from 3 o'clock in the morning, I off on the other talk to the other talk show. You see people calling Liberia, they say a lot of stuff in Liberia. And now this radio show go to most of the villages and towns. Now, so most of them listen to these things. And sometimes what people say on the radio, people believe that. You see, that happened in the country before, during the election time, before Obama would come to power. When the people say something like George Bush and Agor, everything George Bush was saying was not what he did, but what he opponent did. But then in our counterpart, they say, look, what he was saying was false, so they take it that way. So anything on the news that they say, or they say, oh, my, this. You know, I don't come and say, no, I'm not did that. I'm a simple person. You know, I don't explain my side of the story. The man who explain, who tell me, we take the next story because I don't come back and explain my side of the story. So the minister of information will come and explain the side of the story of the government, because the government spoke people. So most of the things people see on this radio show in the morning that people get upset is because why they're hearing. And sometimes you want people to come back and see the ego to listen to the government. So they don't believe it. But the ego to listen, they hear from the minister of information. And they're not hearing from him.
Yeah, we hope, our own dear friend and brother, Minister Fagon, we have extended invitation over and over. We'll make that attempt to have the Minister of Information, and not just that, I mean, there are other agencies of government where, you know, these people, they are accountable to all. And that's why we ourselves have to conduct ourselves in a very responsible manner. Because, as a matter of fact, twice I spoke with the minister today just to confirm, yesterday, twice today to make sure. And I call you, so I'm driving from Cape Mount. I say, is it possible we can have that? He say, yes, I'm already in the network area to win an inspection, and so we can still talk. But at least we're able to go there. But we have people here who will be irresponsible in their thought process in terms of what they're going to be throwing out without taking into consideration where it's like a back of a tree, you throw it out and it's already down. Then, of course, it just put us here in this business in a difficult position, because the manner in which we're going to handle them, I'm not saying we're going to give them free pass without asking out of the tough question, but you talk things that just doesn't make sense, and the next time you call any other person, they will say, you know, before you go down there, this is what so. We don't want to have that kind of thing. So when people come here, if they are not disciplined, we'll try to discipline them as well. If you're wearing pimples, then don't come on this show. You go on the show where people do all sort of things. We have a control here on this network. We try to get information, concrete information out. Yeah, go ahead quickly.
Yeah, Mr. So I see he owed you an apology, because the first thing you had a minister on your show, and he was the first caller. And look, you stop everything, and you welcome this man on your platform, you know. And you gave me all the chance to ask all the questions.
I'm not even sure what you were talking about. Say here, I have one minister here. Who the other minister, the deputy minister that I had here, and they were not specific. Everything was just about speculations and assumptions.
There was a minister, but he didn't say anything because you gave him that time. So even we have anything against the minister, we should be looking at you first. You, Mr. Su. So yeah, Mr. Su.
I tried calling his attention, and he was not listening. And I mean, the minister was patient, and that's one of the things I was trying to avoid. Because why? If we bring people here,
he did very well. He did very well. He did very, very well to at least to listen to him.
At the end of the day, the man ended up educating him. You ask for one, you say I'm going to call two. By the time they call the first one, he burst into a flame.
That's what pays me off. Because so you said the first one, I took pen. Then I was it.
Exactly, and there are tons of Liberian firm here, which of course I did not bring that question. It was good on his part that he brought to raise that concern. But I kept pushing what our Liberians would be benefited, even though I did not ask the minister how many of all of those things there, because I don't want to put words in his mouth as well. But indeed, and so we were holding, as we do these things here, we have the recording, we're holding, and then time come, we'll do a fact check. Now he called, recognized that the number was calling out of the country, which I intended not to take phone call, to call him that, time, and he just blew it off the window. All right, Mike delayed.
Thank you very much for the show.
But
even Mr. Su, if you guys cannot call those ministers on, like, for the minister of information, they cannot come on the show. Then one thing they can do, say they have that Thursday as a brief press conference all the time. Then they can have you guys relay the conference. At least we on the side can have access to ask a question. But in the press conference, it is okay too. But if you can't come directly,
that I can guarantee. The press conference has been. Our guys are always there. But when we really start, and that's why the phone drive going to be coming. A special envelope will be coming to Mike Delay, because once we are voted there, then it will be okay. But I have attended numerous press conferences. It's strictly regulated. I shouldn't say control. It's been regulated by the ministry. For you to be here to ask a question, I think that's a difficult one here. Unless the only way we're going to see that happening, as soon we start broadcasting in Liberia, where they have gone to our studio, you can be here and then call in and ask a question as well. So that's something we're going to be doing.
All right, thank you, Mr. Su.
All right, that's Mike Delay.
I'm expecting an envelope too as well.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you for that support. All right. Many of the assertions, or perhaps thinking in their own words, when it comes to development infrastructure, they are so much involved in it. The country was thrown into civil war for 14 to 15 years, bloody civil war that, with the limited resources that we have, all went down the drain within that period of time. So rebuilding the nations is something that's really is a problem. African Land, the Pay Independence Production, to produce a special documentary, Foundations Network. I will be playing this video here to see the journey, how badly our country's infrastructure, development, manpower capacity was devastated in the last couple of years as the result of the bloody civil war that we Liberians wage on our own country without taking into consideration it's going to take time to recover. So I want you to listen to this, and you will see for yourself the path, the journey to recovery is a huge one.
Join us now for remarkable stories of partnerships across Africa, building the future and changing lives. It's Africa's time.
These are Liberian school children today, but behind their smiling faces is the legacy of a shocking civil war. Now the country needs to rebuild its education system and the future of its children.
Everything collapsed as a result of the civil war. What happened is a story that is yet to be told. The school infrastructures were damaged, so the kids themselves came to the point that there's no need to go to school. You can hold a gun and become somebody. You don't need to go to school. And that broke down the whole desire and quest for education. And so the whole system broke down.
Millions of kids who should have been at school were drawn into the war. I was determined to find the exact spot of an iconic photo that tells the story.
Do you think it's on this bridge, or is it that other bridge?
It's not this one.
It's not this
one. It's the other one.
Okay.
At that time, it was the old bridge. It was not like this. It was old. But it got broken. It's sinking.
Yeah. I've had this picture for 8 years.
Yeah, well, I'll show you.
I said I'm going to go to that spot.
I'm going to show you this spot right now. This side.
Yeah.
This spot.
This is it.
See where it was.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I can't believe it. It's just
right here.
It's incredible.
Right here, yeah. This spot.
But he would have been facing this direction.
Focusing like this.
And this is a government.
Yeah, government troop. We're gonna have law rebel and have government troop. We were fighting for government troop. During the war, the bridge was very risky. Yeah, there's not a small soldier, a charged soldier, small soldier.
How old do you think he is?
13, 14 years old. Just a little boy. Just a little boy.
You should have been in school.
Should have been in school. Well, at the war now. I don't know what get him involved in the war. See, it was part of him first thing.
How old are you?
Me?
How old are you? 14.
Like age group.
Look at this.
It's the age group.
Same.
Yeah.
Are you in school? Yes.
It's almost impossible to imagine thousands of young Liberians fighting on Monrovia's streets with the classroom a distant memory. Some abducted and forced to become child soldiers. Kelvin Davies was one of them.
Hi.
Nice to meet you.
It's my pleasure. This is my mom.
Hey, Mom.
Yes?
How are you?
Hello, my sweetheart.
This is your sweetheart.
Yeah.
My baby, my sweetheart.
Your baby, your
My
sweetheart. You were a young boy, you were going to school, your parents were with you, your family was with you, and then when you were 10 years old, your life changed. What happened?
Well, when I was 10 years old, I never knew about anything about going on maybe or merger or whatsoever. On my way from school, that's how I got kidnapped by a vehicle with our lesson plate of pickup. And I was picked up, put in the pickup, how they carry me. After we went, they put everybody down in a uniform. The first thing they never had a soldier uniform for us. So the same clothes you carry, that's the same clothes you live in, about this size. Yeah.
How big was the AK?
The AK was very big and heavy because it was my very first one. So when I first lifted it up, it was very heavy in my hand until I needed to be walking, a bit dragging.
So you were that much bigger than the AK?
Yeah. When I was a child soldier, education, I felt that education was not important to me because I had nothing to do with books. Yeah. Rather, the only thing I had to deal with was school, and that's all. This particular thing you are part of, you never meant to be part of it, but you are forced to be part of it. So since that's the case, you have to put yourself back together. Then later my mother said, no, you have to go back to school. I decided to go back to school.
We can state with conviction that our country has turned the corner. Liberia is no longer a place of conflict, war, and deprivation.
We're trying to ensure that kids understand that the way to stability is not through the violence or it's not through guns, it's through education. The more people are aware and the more people are educated, the more stable minds they develop because they now appreciate that in order to become somebody, you need to work for it.
Today, we'll be discussing on the topic, the digestive system. Can we pronounce that together?
Digestive system.
Together we say it?
Digestive system.
When we talk about the digestive system, we are talking about the food that we eat. Where does it go? Into the what? Digestive system. The food passes through a tube coming down here into the stomach. That tube is called the esophagus, right?
Yes.
It's called the esophagus, the tube coming down here, right? It's a very important system of the human body.
Because of the situation we find ourselves after the war, and people wanted children to be in school, so everybody was putting up something that was supposed to be a classroom. We want the schools to look like places that children want to go to, and just to make it a place of fun and learning. And this is one of the things I'm trying to push when we go to our school systems.
It's a government that believes in education, but it also recognizes the depths from which they've had to come to be able to restore education. It's a work in progress still, tremendous challenges. But I think they're on the right track.
So we've come here to film a story about 67 schools being built over the next few years.
Wow, that's great.
New schools.
New schools. Wow. I really appreciate a whole lot. You know, great things for us. Yeah, we need schools. We need hospitals. And you know, we need schools.
It's heartening when big players come together to solve problems. The partnership here is between global giant ACOM and the Liberian Education Ministry. Our series has visited some of the school sites before, but building hadn't yet begun. Now we're back to see how the project's first phase involving 44 schools is progressing. So we've driven up the Kakata Highway north of Monrovia, and we've come here through the Firestone Plantation to see a school that is being built.
Morning.
Hello,
Lisa.
Barry.
Hi, Barry ACOM. How are you?
Great pleasure to meet you. I was just saying that it's amazing to see it actually being built. You know, we've done the research, we've spoken to people, but we're here. It's amazing. Is it going to be a big school, Barry?
If you knew the challenges, you would know how amazing it is. It's very special to see this kind of progress. This project is funded by the Global Project for Education. They fund it through the World Bank. The World Bank fund the Ministry of Education, who employ us. ACOM is just here to ensure that the World Bank get what they're paying for, that they get the school built how it needs to be built, they get the right quality, they get it on time, and that the people of Liberia get what the World Bank intended them to get. How this project works is that all the schools are built by local contractors. So we would basically, the MOE would appoint a contractor, we would meet with them, engage with them, and then it would be a team effort. So we would work with the contractors, all local guys. There's no imported contractors, no imported staff. So it's basically Liberia are building Liberian schools.
ACOM has come in to help monitor the construction that's going on and to ensure that it's being done properly. And they're doing a wonderful job at that. And what I like about it is that they have Liberians that they're helping to learn how to do that.
We don't only monitor, we assist, we train, we help, we guide, and that makes it a joy. Our mandate is actually to build ourselves out of a job, to increase the capacity of the local builders and to be able to teach them to manage their own job and not to require our services.
We now have a standardized design that now embodies everything that a school environment should contain. You can see we have the teacher's quarter there. You can see that we have the administrative building, the classroom buildings, and everything just well laid out. Every time I come to this site, overlooking this community and looking at the buildings up, I feel proud.
The truss is up there where the apex is, yes. And you have the one vertical. We need a gusset plate over that area.
Okay, we will do that for sure. They've been really cooperative. They've been helpful. They listen. They help you wherever they see you falling. They come in, push you. You know, so I'm really grateful.
It's a lifesaver for us in the education system, and we're actually working to ensure that what we're putting out there is much more sustainable than we had before.
If you travel around and you visit schools, they're brimming with young people. For young Liberians and Liberian children, I think the future is very bright. They just have to stay in school, and then they can really be president as well.
Anybody can achieve education. The matter is seriousness and determination. As long as you're serious and determined, nothing will be hard for you. When I was still a little boy, my dream was to become a president.
If you want to build something and you want to leave a legacy, then, you know, to build a shopping center does nothing. But to build a school, it's for a good reason. It's not a commercial value, it's a nation-building value. And there's a bit of a warm feeling about building a school.
Where's the new schools? Yeah!
right, there you have it, folks. It is a clear indication from this video that every aspect of our country's economic growth was significantly hit as due to the civil crisis. Listening to that boy at the age of 10, could you imagine at the age of 10 he was kidnapped? And then taken away. And then the next thing he saw was gun in his hand, a uniform. So imagine somebody at that from that age and things that he are used to. And he says the gun gives him the power to do whatever he wants. So to rehabilitate that person, it requires time and resources. So every sector of our country was seriously hit. With the limited resources that the country was even laying out, all went down the drain within 15 to 14 years. And coming back to rebuild these things is going to take extraordinary time, and it requires us to have a kind of conversation. It requires us to have a conversation as a people, as a nation, and as an institution. So it is not easy, and I think some progress has been made. You saw it at the beginning of the school and where it stands now. And so this partnership with international community, this is why it's very, very much important. We can keep ourselves isolated as a government, and so we have to call it. And this is why for us here at LPR, we are very, very much strategic, and I'm very careful when we bring people here, because we want to have a genuine conversation that we can also make an impact into the process by making recommendations, suggestions as well, and listen to them to see what they are doing, where they are going wrong, and then we can make a suggestion, and not just to have everything to bash people because of our political disagreement, of our affiliation with political institutions and personal things. Absolutely not. And so this is why we always caution our viewers and listeners when they come here, we want to get to the substance of the issue. And so, and the role aspect is very, very much important. That's why we had the Minister of Public Works here today, Minister Mobutu Nyenpen, to talk to him. And we hope to be pushing this here. And perhaps the next place we're going to be looking at is the Minister of Education, the Minister of Health. We want to be strategic here to look at some key components of our society that indeed when those areas are well strengthened and issues are well addressed, we can be boast of a nation, of a sovereign nation. And that's why we are very, very much determined to do, and that's why we are trying hard to get ourselves footed on ground, so that even if they can't even come here, they will go to our local studios where we can have them live. We should have the minister here on the live video screen, but like he said, he was on his way from Grand Cape Mount County driving, had an interview for pretty close to hour, 15 or 20 minutes, whatever the case. We should give him the credit for that, for making himself available. And so we will be reaching out to other agencies and ministries of government, and hopefully the head of those institutions, they will make themselves available. And we want to caution all of our participants here, we do not intend to sanction people. This network, it doesn't believe that. We are committed ourselves to bring people here, and this network should be a network of the people of Liberia. But at the same time, we have our own integrity, we have our own policy here. So if you come here and you want to be a grown child, that you don't want to abide by our law, then of course we'll find it very, very, very much difficult to do business with you, because we are not going to allow one person, a single citizen, interest to surpass the entire nation by creating chaos on this network. We don't abuse, we don't insult. We bring people here, we have a genuine conversation. If you want to insult, you want to abuse, open go to Facebook, you don't have to pay anything. Open your own and just cost my cost whole day, and that will be up to yourself. But I have on the line here Deborah Comoran, the woman who wants the job at the city corporations in Liberia in 6 to 1 year, promises to take some major reform. Deb, good evening. How are you?
Good evening. How are you?
Yeah, good. All right. I guess you'll follow the conversation with the Minister of Public Works here today, correct?
No, sir. Presently, I'm at work. So,
you never had a chance to listen?
No, but I'm interested in the topic, and Overheard you guys talking about from Nimba all the way to the southeast. So I want to, give a little quota because I worked in Nimba for quite some time, and I know that terrain well.
Okay, it kind of be a little bit difficult since you did not listen to him, but let us just get from your from what you have done in the past and now, and looking at the condition of this role here. Hopefully, if you are here, probably what would have been the question, or what sort of suggestion do you want to make to the minister?
Yeah, the first thing I would like to say thank you to the minister because being the head of public work is not an easy thing, and like I overheard you saying that the Ministry of Rural Development have been added to the Ministry of Public Works.
Yeah.
So that's double trouble right there. But I'm so happy that the president on his agenda he has the desire to ensure that we have adequate road networking, especially in the rural area. The first thing is I work in Limba. I work in Limba extensively. I work in Limba with the school feeding program when I was at with the LPR as a field monitor. And I dealt with schools. I dealt with the rough terrain. Let's start from Ganta. Let me take it from Ganta. From Ganta to get to as far as Green. When you leave Ganta and approaching where we call Flompa is very, 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 very bad during the rainy season. Okay? And those guys, rather than adequately, creating ditches that will, hold the water and also create these banks along the road, they did a great job. They took the machines there, they created the road at that time, and the road was just wide, free, with a lot of mud. And I tell you, for some of the Monrovia drivers that was leaving from Monrovia to go up towards Sakati area, there were a lot of accidents on that road. Because driving on a quota and driving on a gravel road are two different things. I'm a professional driver, so I'm telling you, that's two different things. So the road is very challenging from Flompa before you get into Sakati. It's very challenging. And then you take it from Sakati, you go into Banquet. From Banquet, you go toward Gray. That's one of the major challenges there before you get into Takata. And those guys are there. This is why I have problem because I was assigned with WFP, and WFP had a program that was also dealing with these feeders road. The program was called FSLR, meaning Full Support to Local Initiative. This was a program that WFP created after the war.
Are you speaking? Is your phone on speaker?
My phone is now on speaker.
All right, go ahead. Much better.
Like I said, I'm at work, so I can't talk.
Okay, yeah, all right, then let's leave it at do what you're supposed to do, because it's kind of a little bit thing usually when you are. All right, but I think this will not be the last time. Definitely there are other officials of government, like we hope to have, we will make arrangement to have the minister. We want to look at some of the critical issues, institutions in the country, like the Ministry of Education, Health. Those are vital areas of the country, agriculture, and all of these things here. What are some of their plans? We're looking at some of the plans they're going to be putting in place. We don't just want to just hit on political issues because once you are government now, you have to put something along. You must have a short-term and a long-term goal. And so you have to put something in place. Is that even if you leave tomorrow, the next group would dwell on it to amend it and make good advances. But most of the time, we just try to address what is on hand, and we are not even thinking about in the next 1 or 2 years the consequences or the downsides and all of that, the good side of it. All of those things we don't look at it, and that's why we always like to have this sort of conversation here. So we'll be trying. We'll try hard to see. Hopefully, the Minister of Education, the Minister of Health, the Minister of Agriculture, some of these bear work of national government to have them yet, and we can have a discussion. The Minister of Information when it comes to information dissemination and stuff. I will try to help they bring them here. But here is the thing. Tuesday here, we're going to be having a program here as usual. Tuesday is one of my regular days. The forum will be here on Tuesday. But I have a different version, a different side of the story with this video that is in circulation. I believe it came from that shows the Deputy Minister of Information for Public Affairs, Minister Eugene Fagon, I believe was in Morocco as it relates to Liberians, some Liberian passengers, I believe en route to Liberia, whatever other they was on flying Air Morocco. I have a different version, different side, different opinions, different view as to how the approach by the minister. There are a lot of unanswered questions. I will be having a discussion. I will try as much as possible to reach out, but to him as well. But I have a different version. Then perhaps somebody can help me out here. On Tuesday, I was going to have it my point. I'm going to be making my point clear as to how I see it, what I feel. I think the minister's address to this issue was way over the top. But I will be coming up with that discussion, and I hope to, as usual, to have you to be part of it. I know the minister there's a passion, but I see there's to be more or less something that required diplomatic approach. And the doyen of the cabinet of the Republic of Liberia is the Minister of Foreign Affairs. And I understand where the Deputy Minister was coming from by his address, because when I have that video, we will play it, adjust it, discuss it here, so to give people who also buy into the minister's actions, they will also have the fair share. And then perhaps we've been extending the invitation from time to time to have the minister here, but that has not been working out. Hopefully at some point in time, he will make that day. But having said that, folks, it was good to having you at my company here this evening. I want to thank you to our fund drive. Viren was asking them to many of our followers. It will be in September. Definitely within a shorter day time. Hopefully before Tuesday, management will decide the date in September. But definitely the fund drive will be in September, and so we are looking up to all our valuable contributors, listeners. We want this entity to be your entity. And this is why when you invest into something, people don't question your status of you being part of the system. But if you can't you can't do nothing, because you don't have anything that you are invested into. So your part is very, very, very much less. And yeah, I feel so bad today. Austin, he said he's been waiting for the interview, and for some reason, I don't know, maybe sleep knocking off or whatever the case. But Austin, that's not the end of it. You can listen to the replay. It will be on Facebook. The minister is willing to come back here. Perhaps the next time will be a town hall version, but we wanted to create a civil discussion first and foremost to know exactly the plans of the Ministry of Public Works on a short term and long term, and what they are putting forward to the Liberian people, or what we should be expecting. That's why we really have that conversation here today. So at least then you will hear for yourself, and that we can hold in of a word. But in time to come by, hopefully we're going to be having the minister here. He's willing for us to have a town hall star, and that's what we intend doing, not just only him, but people who are willing to make themselves available to this network, as we have opened ourselves, we are opening our arm to have. If we reach, we can have the president here, president dialogue with the diaspora community. Who knows, when the president is available, we can have that here as well, as long people are willing to conduct themselves responsibly in terms of the questions and how they're going to see things in real world, not living on the fantasy land. Well, folks, I want to thank you so much for being part of this program, this discussion. Some of you have tweeted a lot of good comments here. I'm wondering here what I can go through some of them here, if I have the strength here to some of them, because I'm monitoring it from two different outlets, and so perhaps it must be a little bit difficult here to get some of the comments here. But let me see here if I can get some few comments, and just read them here. By 8 p.m. here, I will be signing off here, and I will be signing off here for the rest of the evening. And hopefully you enjoy this program, and you make your voices heard. Let me see here. Okay, well, alright. As I go back, let me see here. Wow, God bless Liberia. That's very power here. Yes, so true. Build school is key. Yes. Alright. Well, the comments are there. Just go by. For those of you who didn't really have the chance to listen to the minister, you still have the opportunity. Just go back there, and next time, Thursday, all things considered, also speaks on a different wide range of issue. You can also have the opportunity to make your point known. Until then, from the New England Bureau of the Liberia Public Radio, then LPR TV, I'm Afonso Zian Sot. In today's regular editions of Freedom Watch, I want to thank you so much for being part of this program. It's always good having you at our company. Without you, we can do what we are doing. Please bear in mind, keep in mind our official fund drive will be in the month of September. Hopefully, before I get behind this microphone on Tuesday, we'll be able to come with a specific date. And I will be asking some of you for your mailing addresses and stuff like that to see what we have to get in, and start contacting people to help us. Because if we are planted in Liberia, we are there now, but we want to empower our folks. Some of these ministers of government, some of these people will go there, and we will be able to dialogue with them because of the time interval, and we'll be able to interact with them. That's what we want to do. We want to engage our government positively. There will be some disagreement down the road, but we want to have it in real time and genuine conversations. Thereby, they can be held accountable. Thank you so much, folks, for being part of this program here this evening. Until then, I will be back here on Tuesday. Join the lover boy Manzola Gisi tomorrow from Annex 8 of the Liberia Public Radio, NPR TV in Philadelphia, with his regular program Party Time with Manzola Gisi.
Bureau for your informative news magazine with your host Afonso Zion for issues affecting our country and our communities. The price of freedom is costly. The price of freedom is painful. John LPR TV every Sunday, live from the New England Bureau for your informative news magazine.
Necessity, which deserves the support of every well-meaning Liberian. Our country, Liberia, after 170 years of independence, is in a sad state of underdevelopment. Most of our infrastructures, especially roads, are in a deplorable state. And traveling throughout Liberia has become a nightmarish and hazardous undertaking for most of our citizens, especially those who live in rural communities. Statistics reveals that Liberia has a total road network of about 11,000 kilometers. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, honorable legislators, it will, however, interest you to know that out of the 11,000 kilometers of roads in Liberia, we have under 1,000 of roads, under 1,000 kilometers of roads paved. Hence, about 94% of the roads in our country are unpaved. And most often than not, unpliable and accident prone, especially during the rainy season. Year in and year out, since independence, our people are subjected to extreme difficulties in the transportation of goods and services. Whether it is the Vubadi Road in Sino County, the Vahum Road in Lofa, the Bazan Road in Grand Chile, the Blood Diala Road in Nimba, the Blosiotown Road in Riverses, the Southtown Road in Grand Cru County, the Belayala Road in Bakulu, or even the Todi Road in Mosorado County. Everywhere, throughout the length and breadth of our country, is a situation of bad roads. Honorable ladies and gentlemen, the situation of roads in our country is a threat to national security and must therefore be treated as a national emergency, which requires radical affirmative actions. Actions which we must take, and take now. However, and sadly, our annual budgetary allotment to roads connectivity is too meager to address the chronic nature of bad roads in our country. Equally so, the intervention in the road sector by bilateral partners is inadequate to substantively change the situation. Distinguished legislators, we cannot build our country by relying on handouts or by thinking small. As Liberians and as a government which got elected on an agenda of change, we cannot continue to do business as usual. Our people have hopelessly waited for far too long. There must be a paradigm shift. Our President, His Excellency George Manawia, has therefore made roads connectivity as the first and foremost priority of his administration, as a means of actualizing the pro-poor agenda. I therefore come today to urge you to support the President in this lofty endeavor. Dear legislators, on the average, it has taken our country, Liberia, 170 years to pave 850 kilometers of roads in our network. If we are to continue with this trend, in the pavement of our roads, it will take us as a country over 2,000 years to pave the 11,000 kilometers of roads in our network. This is our story as a country. Yet still, we boast of being a country rich in mineral deposits and fertile soil. But what do we have to show for the wealth of our country? As leaders, your constituencies rely on you to change their story. The financing agreement before you for consideration presents a unique opportunity for us to change the status quo. We must not disappoint our people. When you ratify this agreement, the road from Ikeno in Grand Bassa to Sesco City in Riverside County will be paved. When you ratify this agreement, the road from Sesco to Greenville in Sino County will be paved. The road from Greenville to Backleville in Grand Creek County will be paved. The road from Backleville to Sastown will be paved. The road from Backleville to Plebo in Maryland County will be paved. The road from Medina to Roberts Post in Grand Cape Mount County will be paved. And of course, the road from Toggenburg in Bomi County to Bopolu in Bapolu County will be paved. The local economies in your constituencies will be stimulated. Our people will have employment opportunities. In addition, and as part of social corporate responsibility, many stadiums will be built in 7 counties, and a vocational school will be built in Greenville, Sino County. Honorable legislators, the benefits of the financing agreement before you, as analyzed above, far surpass petty considerations and unbending adherence to stiff procedures. When you ratify this agreement, it becomes law, a law that will enhance rapid development in our country. The Ministry of Public Works, which we represent, likes to assure you, our leaders, that all of the technical requirements and processes, feasibility studies, preliminary designs, etc., have been done up to this point. There are available technical reports in-house on this subject matter. Besides, the loan agreement expressly designates and delegates to the Ministry of Public Works the authority to vet the construction companies which shall form a part of the consortium to execute the works. In other words, the agreement does not impose any particular company, Chinese or Liberian, to implement the project. In the next few weeks, the Ministry of Public Works shall, consistent with best practice, select an engineering consultant who, along with the ministry, will spearhead the selection of companies based on objective analysis to form a part of the consortium that will be responsible to implement the project. For the first time in the history of our country, this agreement specifically sets aside a direct role to be played by Liberian construction companies. In this way, we will build the capacity of local construction companies and make them direct participants in the economy of our country. At this juncture, honorable ladies and gentlemen, I humbly submit to you to ratify the financing agreement before you. You have absolutely nothing to lose by such action. Liberia has nothing to lose by such action. This will not be the first time that Liberia will be borrowing. But I can say to you that this will certainly be the first time that we will have something substantively tangible to show for our borrowing. No nation is an island. We each depend on the other and vice versa. The greatest nation on earth has a debt obligation. Let us proceed with fortitude, think big, and build our country. At this juncture, honorable ladies and gentlemen of the legislature, I'd like you to kindly focus the board which we brought and see where we are as a country so that we have an understanding of why we need this loan. We've listened to the analysis, but let's understand the benefits of the Eton financing loan. This is our situation. Of course, a brief history of Eton, which I'm sure will be analyzed later. The next slide. The next slide. Next slide. The status of our infrastructure. We told you that Liberia has a total road network of approximately 12,000 kilometers. 94% of the total road network is unpaved. I'm sure the constituencies you come from, even though your campaign period, you experience what I'm talking about. 90% of the total unpaved roads in Liberia are in the rural parts of our country. We'll have for you the various connections. The next slide. Look at the Buchanan-Cestus Greenville corridor. Upper right, upper left. The Buchanan-Cestus Greenville corridor. A nightmare for our citizens. Below, you see the Greenville-Battlefield people corridor. Hell on earth for our people. On the right, that's a bridge that leads from Grand Cesar, Grand Creek County to the Union Referral Hospital in that county. And never held on earth. The Tomerbrook-Bopolu corridor, upper left. The Brewerville-Bopolu corridor, below left. The Tomerbrook-Bopolu corridor, on the right. We believe in the Ministry of Public Works. They need to join us to change the situation. Our people have been voted for change and no longer continue to be subjected to such extreme difficulties. There is a serious gap in road financing. As I explained to you, our country does not have the money. The total road network, to be able to finance, we need close to $3 billion. $3 billion. And if we do not take giant steps and continue to grow with our development, it will take Liberia, like we said, 2,000 years plus to be able to pave the roads in our network. When you go around to other countries, go to Sierra Leone, go to Guinea, go to Ghana, go to La Côte d'Ivoire, and then reflect on our situation in Liberia. For us, we need to change the situation. That is why we've come to submit on behalf of the ministry that we are prepared, ready and willing to implement your mandate as the leaders of our people. There are many ways in which we can support road projects in our country. Some of these ways are currently being explored by the government. But today we are talking about capital investment funding. This again is an acceptable process, an acceptable procedure in attracting funding to redress the deficits in our infrastructural sector. And so, if you join us in ratifying this agreement, what you see there will be the road that will be leading to Cestus, will be the roads that will be leading to Greenville, will be the roads that will be leading to Battlefield, to people, to Ramos, from Tupperburg to Bopolu. Those are the kind of bridges we will have. Please, we submit that you can't ratify this loan. For Liberia has nothing to lose, but to lose our underdevelopment and backwardness. Thank you, and God bless us.
I was the Minister of Public Works of Mobutu, Vlah, Nyenpen, doing a presentation on the benefits of the Eastern Financing Agreement for the country in Liberia.
Members of the Joint Committee of the Legislature,
you're gonna play out, I'm gonna kill you.
Wow. We should move that stick some more. Yeah, to cover this hole some more, because it's overlapping there. We can move this stick and this stick. Don't cut the tire, too sharp. Tire finished. Oh, the exhaust? It's sitting on the rock. Let's back up more and move those rocks. You can move them. You can bust the fuel tank. Sam, yeah, I can put it back right now. You have to stay on that. You have to stay on that side. Yeah, because there's a bad area here. If he passes that stick, it might be good. Ha!
Well, folks, that's a real lifetime things story you see happening there. In the 21st century of a sovereign nation, one of Africa's oldest republic. If you go to Cote d'Ivoire, you go to Guinea, you go to Ghana, and I wonder why the people of Liberia are so angered and outraged of their government. And if I'm saying government, I'm not referring to the government of George Weah, but all of the past government. I see there's a deliberate actions on the part of government being so insensitive to the plights of its citizens, to the plights of the country. Complete neglect. And I agree with the wartime minister Nyenpen used earlier during our interview. I'm wondering why on planet Earth that a government of a sovereign nation that is not so far-sighted of priorities of the nation. In the absence of good roadnet, it poses a serious security threat. Look at the cars you see people driving. Imagine a pregnant woman, a child that is sick. How can you get that child to a nearby hospital or town and that person can be rescued? So it's a very, very serious business in that country. And if some of us take time to call on the officials of government, people that are in charge, to have a conversation with them. If you don't have anything to offer, don't be part of the program. Stay home, play Ludo, play a checker, or do whatever you want to do. But we call these people in order to have a genuine conversation as to how they're going to do it and that we can get them on record. So we expect our followers, we expect participants to ask sound and reasonable questions. Put aside your partisanship, whatever party you belong to, whether you went for 2017 and you did not win the elections. That is not our priority here. That is not our concern here at LPR. We're here to have a genuine conversations and hold to these people that they have appointed, people that we have elected to their feet. Tell me, look at that kind of role in the 21st century. Some of those roads are major highways. And you wonder how people really survive during the time of rainy season, living through that sort of, it's like a real health on earth. So it is very, very much important that if we call these people here, we have a genuine conversation. And we'll continue to do that from time to time. If we give you the opportunity, if you misuse it, we cut you off. And that's exactly what we're going to do, because we're not going to compromise the interests of one Liberian to deprive other hundreds of scores of other Liberians who are desire to hear from their leaders, and that we can be able to judge them by their action. Our people in Liberia, they are surviving by the grace of God. If you're not there, some people have not gone back in years, and so sometimes they see these things that used to be like a makeup, but it's reality. Right now, from the southeastern side, yesterday we have a man from Sekle PA that was reporting people can't even get to Grange that other places all over the country you have to be on motorbike. Tell me, how many persons can motorbike contain? If a pregnant woman is sick, if a child is sick, that is a life-saving thing. How many persons can hold a sick person to going through that road? Can motorbike can easily make it through that road? That's something we must be able to think about. And so when we call these government officials, people that are charged with the responsibility to conduct the affairs of the nation, in as much we have our political differences, it is extremely important that we open our eye to the sensitive issues that are affecting our country and that we can address it. The election is being over, so there's nothing, nobody has any dominion right now. You have to wait for the next 6 years and see what happens. So we expect, we don't, this is not a platform where people just abuse and curse people. There are so many platforms here that does that. You can go there and people cause man cause, call power call, anti cause. That's okay with them. But for here, we represent the true reflections of a sovereign nation that got her independence since 1822. We just celebrated our 171st independence anniversary. And so when we call people here, we mean real business. We mean real business. If you don't have anything to offer, stay. But we want to have conversation with these people so that we can hold them of their words. If you can call them, you can something. So people should start making assumption. Let us not live in the assumption war or in the fantasy land where we just pass judgment onto people without having facts. That's it. It's crazy. And that's one of the things that killing us here as Liberians, killing us as a nation. And the only way we can get these facts is to have that genuine dialogue, conversations with these officials of government. In as much some of us will not support the policies of the government or things in what the government doing, or some people that are part of the government. But we have to look at the bigger picture of our country and put the interest of our country first. And once they are there, we can have that dialogue, hold them responsible for what they're going to be saying, and then we can eventually make a judgment. That's how it's supposed to be. And we are determined here at LPR to push on with this. Popular Works is a very crucial entity of government for the survival of the country. When we're talking about agriculture, for the country to feed itself, it has to come from another branch of government or another branch of government. Meaning, we have to make sure we have a good road system that the farmers will be able to get their produce to the market in nearby cities and towns. So if the roads are not good, it means the work of the Ministry of Agriculture will be paralyzed. It means the work of the Health Ministry will be paralyzed because ambulance will not be able to get from point A to point B. It means the educational systems of our country will be broken down. So these ministries or agencies of government, they are somehow the fees into one another. They are depending on if I can function, the other group will not function. You see what I mean? You see where we're going with this conversation? So when we call these people here, we need to take into consideration that we are discussing national issues, security issues, life-saving issues. You want to go for vacation? Unless some of these people who go for vacation, they just have Morovia and they say they are further rich, they can't go in their own town. And they don't even tell people that they are going. But there are others who live from here, they want to go see their born town. So they will see the life experience their people are having. So it's extremely, extremely important that they can do that. Well, everyone, we don't want to be calling names. The people know all the shows here. They have all kinds of shows in here. And that's okay. And that's part of the capitalist society. A free country, you can do whatever we want to do. But for us here, when we call people here, we intend to have a genuine conversation so that when we are passing judgment, there's something tangible, there's something concrete we can base on the conversation that we have with these officials, and what they are telling us, we verify it. And that's what, and I was grateful today for Minister Nyenpen to make himself available despite of a time constraint, driving from Cape Mountain on our phone for more than 1 hour 25 minutes applause. At least that gave us an insight. We can base on that and go furthermore to have a conversation. I want to thank you so much for being part of this program here this evening, and we will continue this quest and reach out to all ministries, agencies of government, and hopefully we can have this conversation and hear their side of the story instead of living in a fantasy land where we pass judgment without facts and things that are tangible. But like I say, I will be back here on Tuesday, and the forum is a regular program on Tuesday. But I have a different version of what, and I've been receiving a lot of phone calls, people explaining different stories. Hopefully these people will call. The video regarding Minister Eugene Fagon in Morocco as to how the airline treats our fellows Liberians and brother. But I have a different version of it, and I want us to have a conversation. So let's just open our mind to bigger discussion, and let us not just narrow ourselves. You look at the wall and just see the shadow of the wall, and you just make a conclusion. We have to open up, make and have a genuine conversation, and hopefully we can come to a common ground. So join me here on Thursday and hear my side of the story, what I feel. I feel the Deputy Minister jumped the guns. The minister went to the extreme. He's confronting these airlines official. That his side, he has his own reason. We will try to reach in that we have been doing, hopefully to come. But we just thought he would have gone forward by contacting the Ministry of Foreign Affairs Republic of Liberia. This has to do with a diplomatic link. You're on a foreign soil. And so if there's anything that you see as officials of government, let emotion takes you away and lose the sight there are some sort of diplomatic relations between this country, and there's a way that these issues can be addressed at the highest level. Minister of Foreign Affairs, take it up with the Minister of Foreign Affairs of Morocco, and perhaps come to the presidential level. But we're going to have that discussion, and I'm hoping that you form part of that discussion to get our own side of the story and bring yours, and that we can have a genuine discussion. So what is the bilateral link between Morocco and Liberia in terms of citizens going to Morocco, coming into Liberia? What is the policies regarding immigration, leaving from the airport, going into the city? If there's something happening, does the airline have the authority, or it has to do with the government itself? What is involved? We need to get all of that before we can say, and that's one of the reasons for which I'm basing my argument. I'm wondering whether the minister is informed on all of these things here. Until then, I'm Afonso Zienso of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR TV here this evening. I want to thank you so much for being part of this program here. And I know our God is a hell of a God, and He can get us going. Our take-home message here this evening will be by Ambassador Arden Calvin. With his sons, our God is a hell of a God. Thank you so much. John Manzola gives you tomorrow at 10 a.m. from Annex 8 of LPR TV for his program Party Time with Manzola, Samson Tope. Hopefully it might be coming on Monday, I'm not sure. But Tuesday I'm going to be here, and we're going to have an honest discussion. Have a pleasant evening. Bye-bye.
Things you can do. Takes the enemy by surprise. My God, you do what I want. My God, you do marvelous. My God, you do baffling. My God, you fool my mouth. I say so hell about things you can do. That's so marvelous things you can do. My God, you do what I want. My God, you do what I want. That's so hell about things you can do. My God is so hell about. That's so
host, Alfonso Zion, for issues affecting our country and our communities. The price of freedom is costly. The price of freedom is painful. John LPR TV every Sunday, live from the New England Bureau for your informative news magazine with your host, Alfonso Zion, for issues affecting our country and our communities.